Run to the hills. Run for your life. I hope that wasn't too simple for you, Opera. Yeah, Griffmas in July rolls on. And Griff dug deep into the Laserdisc vault for this week's movie because I had never even heard it. It actually was holding something. It was holding up a table table leg we have in the Laserdisc vault where our security guard sleeps most of the time because every security guard sleeps.
Yeah.
But you found it. Maybe that you were yelling at Snuffy, I think is what our security guard's name is. I mean, he's like an 80-year-old man.
Yeah, he's one of the original Seven Dwarfs. Snuffy before they were Sleepy.
He kills people.
Yeah, he was snuffed out by Sleepy.
So, Griff, do you have anything to say before we get into the movie? Because
you're short on content here, Murray? Checking your pockets?
I have no content.
No content.
I'm empty. I'm running on empty.
Well, we got to bring up the fact that someone questioned something I said a week or two ago about our Laserdisc collection, and they were like, "Wait, you guys don't have
someone."
Well, I was going to leave them anonymous.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to call anybody out.
Him?
Yeah, I don't want to embarrass them.
You know what? I'm glad you brought him up because it did bring up a story. No one's going to get this, what I'm going to talk about right now, except for this person we're talking about. But I'm going to get serious for a second.
Please.
Dear friend of ours, Mr. Mint, Dennis McDermott.
That's right.
He had a stroke. And he's a legend in Detroit comic shop world. And he's recovered. A little slurred speech, though, but he has recovered. I just want to send out some good vibes to my man, Mr. Mint.
Please.
Dennis
He
McDermott.
was my original comic book vendor at, I forget what the place called.
Classic Comics.
Yes. So he was the first guy I bought a comic book from. 10 years later from that date, one of my favorite people in all existence.
He had a mullet when it wasn't cool. He has a mullet when it's cool. He does not wear it ironically. He's in his 60s, still rocking the mullet.
Still playing hockey, for fuck's sake.
With no pads.
Ice hockey.
With no pads.
With no pads. He's missing he's got the credentials when he smiles at you. Let's say that.
yeah. But we
the
love you,
trivia
Dennis.
card is on my fridge.
Yes.
Yes.
We're getting very inside baseball here, but it's because we love Dennis and we wish him well, and I hope that this is the last time we ever have to talk about
Yes. Please, everybody take care of yourselves. Fucking Christ, because it's hard enough. Even when you do take care of yourself, these things just happen.
Yes.
But our hearts go out to you, Dennis, and anybody suffering through anything.
Unless you're a piece of shit, then fuck
Unless
you.
you're a piece of shit.
Karma's a bitch.
Unless you're that fat-ass Elon Musk who's fucking just snuffling us out on Twitter there.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's not a good place anymore.
Before I interrupted you, Griff, like I do every episode, what were you saying about this person who shall not be named?
Oh, yeah. They came in, they called in to question our Laserdisc collection and how we play our Laserdisc, and you had to bring up the fact that we don't use Earth technology.
No. We used Peacemaker technology.
Exactly.
I don't remember. Did they have names, those aliens? I don't remember.
I don't remember. They didn't have a great name like Totec that we're going to discover in our movie.
No. Yeah, we can use the power of our minds to project Laserdisc onto any surface.
Right.
And that's how we do it.
We often don't even have to take the physical Laserdisc out of the packaging anymore with our alien technology.
Right, which keeps them mint, too.
It can play it remotely.
Yeah.
And that's just fantastic. So I didn't want to spill those beads, but you're like, no, Griff, this is a friend close to our vests. So I'll tell them about our alien tech. And now we're telling about it on our podcast. So
yeah, we have it. Deal with it.
It's okay. Snuffy.
Not sharing it. Sorry.
We told Snuffy that we're going to pay him double time for the next 2 weeks after we reveal this information. Because someone's going to try to break in.
Yeah, we're going to give... Well, it's not that's the only alien technology we have. We have weaponry. And we might give him one of those hidden guns that can destroy aliens.
Yes, the hidden guns. Oh, yeah, the movie. Yes,
hidden,
of course.
Yeah.
Now, Murray, I do have to apologize for the trailer I put in last week.
I didn't listen, so...
I know you didn't. There was a constant hum in it, which was irritating when I listened to it. I found that frustrating.
Is that why no one listened to the episode?
That's got to be it.
Okay.
They knew that hum was in there somehow, and they didn't. No, but the other thing about that trailer, it was not in English. It was in German. I am sorry. I thought that
So
was.
he doesn't listen to our show either, or he doesn't listen to the shit we put in our show.
I found it very amusing. Honestly, I think German's a beautiful language. So I was.
Well,
entertained.
when you say it's the most romantic language,
Right. So I was very entertained. I still popped it in there, but when I was putting the episode together, I was like, "Oh Jesus, there's a hum through this whole thing," and I felt bad about that. So
just
that's
through the trailer.
just through the trailer.
That's only what, a minute and a half.
It was a minute and a half for a 90-minute movie, which is perfect.
Yeah, 90
Cut that
seconds.
zero. Yeah, there we go. And then the other thing I got to bring up, Murray, I went on a little adventure, a little down to Toledo. That's my meditation time. I go down and watch the Toledo Mud Hens, the Tigers AAA baseball team.
Toledo, Ohio, for you people who aren't
Yes.
familiar with America. It's not the great state of Michigan.
Yes.
But it's not the hellhole of Indiana. So it's somewhere in between.
It is about a 25 to 30-minute drive to downtown Detroit. Is about a 50-minute drive to Toledo. And when you go down to Toledo, you pay $12. You get any seat you want. You're right on the field. There's fucking home runs popping off all the time. I saw 8 home runs in this game. It was great. And I saw a little blind girl. I was like, oh, man, I forgot people grew up blind. Thought that just happened from staring at screens or
You
something.
sure she didn't get hit with some radioactive material like Daredevil?
Yeah, it might have been that. She wasn't doing flips, though.
But was she like hearing your heartbeat? Tell you if you could lie?
Murray,
or-
I wanted to ask this girl so many questions, but I was like, is it okay?
Did she have eyes? Was she wearing glasses, sunglasses?
No, she was not.
I hate that. If you're blind, wear sunglasses because you disturb me with your eyes like going everywhere.
I couldn't tell what was happening with her eyes. I read eyes, but
You
I
know
don't read
what?
blind eyes.
Here's a look: 2 patches, 2 eye patches.
Yes.
Because it's bad. I think Bliskin's badass to have an eye patch. So how about 2?
Double it up. Stone Cold used to wear the one knee brace, and then he got the second one. Still badass.
Yeah.
We could talk to Joe Coleman about 2 knee braces all day. He would love to do that conversation. He thinks it's badass too, and he murders people for a living. But what I want to bring up that happened at this baseball game, other than a lot of sweet dingers, there was a proposal.
Oh, that sounds very romantic.
Now, a AAA game might fetch about 1,000 people. So if you've got business like that, you're likely to get on the Jumbotron. So that's why they did this.
Right.
Children, early, mid-20s, if that.
But you're living in Toledo. Your life's pretty much over anyway. So
Yeah. I don't know how far the people come from around Toledo,
Not far. I think you're the only person coming out of state from Mud Hen. Man.
There's a lot of Tigers fans there.
really?
But it could be from southern Detroit or
Snowbirds.
southern Michigan. So the girl obviously, the girl was fucking stoked for this. And so she's shaking, he's shaking. It's a humid day. It should have been sticky. He drops the fucking ring. And the camera pans down, scattered popcorn and bullshit everywhere, nacho cheese,
So
sauces.
they're in the stands.
Yeah, we were just in the front row,
They didn't allow them to come out on the field and do it, like right on the pitcher's mound.
No, they did it in
7-inning stretch. Let
Yeah,
them do
no, they
that.
did in between innings. At a AAA game, they should have been on the field. You're right.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
maybe they'll get married on the field.
Well, usually they don't do it in the middle of a game.
Why not?
I don't know.
I'm just saying, maybe they're saving it for when they get married,
Maybe.
or maybe they're going to consummate the wedding on the field.
So, Murray,
Field of dreams.
I know you're excited. She said yes.
Thank God.
He said yes as well.
Imagine 1,000 minor league loser fans like laughing at you because she said no.
You're right. That was the pressure of, 300 people nearby
Well,
who
I
actually
guess
gave a shit.
if you're going to do that, you're pretty sure that she's going to say yes.
That's true.
Yeah.
I would hope you'd feel confident
Where
about
would
it.
you ask a woman? What would be the ideal place for you to ask a woman to marry you? Make it really public and obnoxious.
Can I stall while I think about it and tell you about how my dad did it?
Yes, people ask me all the time. More
Yeah.
Griff dad stories. He's never told one before, but they want them for some reason.
I've never told a dad story.
You might have. I don't know.
My dad was diabetic and would often go into diabetic shocks, at which point he would take up a whole new personality he called Joe Jimothy. And my mom would have to coax
That's
him.
my fucking alter ego, too.
It is?
Timothy.
Are you my alter ego dad? My Black
Well, I
Lodge
told
dad?
you. I was going to save this for the end of the episode, but your mom is leaving Doug, and we're moving in together.
I hope you have a motorcycle. She's into that.
I'm not going to work anymore, so it's going to be great. We'll have plenty of time to hang out and play catch, Griff.
Joe Jimothy didn't have kids. He would often sing the song, I don't want her, you can have her, she's too fat for me.
Did that scare you when you were like little seeing that? Or like the first time, were you like, what's going on with Dad?
Yeah, you see, my dad never drank really or anything, so I didn't see my dad inebriated at all. But my mom did a good job of being like, oh, no, Dad's just doing... When it became a thing where my mom would leave and be like, your dad is kind of on that edge of going into shock, that freaked me out. But when my mom was
There's
around...
nothing you can do about it? Like, you just have to go through it?
It's like sugar. It's like you got to use sugar to kind of balance everything out. So it's like we had orange juice on hand constantly in case...
Chocolate bars. It works for everything.
Yeah, exactly. Chocolate bars, coffee,
Yeah.
We never even had coffee at my house growing up. So yeah, but how we proposed to my mom was just, yeah, we're getting hitched, right? And then just like, here's the ring. That was it.
Wow, that's very romantic.
Right. So I gotta one up that at least. I think I would do a thing. I like public parks and everything. I'd be like, oh, what the fuck's that over there in the water? And
You would say, what the fuck's like that over there?
yeah, and then I'd like dive
okay.
into the water, and they'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? You can't be in there. Get out of that water. And be like, yeah, I found this little box. Oh, look at that.
You wouldn't put it in an oyster or something?
Oh, shit. Maybe I do need to upgrade it to oyster.
Because you're jumping in the water.
What if it was a bullfrog, and I opened the bullfrog's mouth? It's alive, of course.
That would be cool. And it
Yeah.
like flicked his tongue
Out
and put
with the
ring
ring.
on her finger.
Oh, that's what I'm doing. I'm glad I workshopped this
Don't
with you.
steal this idea.
Yeah, if I see that shit on the internet, I'm suing.
Yeah.
How would you do it?
Copyright.
You've had a lot of time to think now. How would you do it?
Oh, no one's gonna marry me. Come on.
It doesn't. I don't know what's gonna happen to me either. What? How would you do it?
I don't know. I don't have anything, Griff. I'm running
Bottom
out
of the
help
bag
here.
of popcorn on your dick or something? Come on, anything.
Yes, I would put the ring on my dick in the bottom of a popcorn bucket. You're right. That's exactly how I'd do it. Griff, I have a question for you.
Let's hear it.
Why did you pick this movie? When I was watching it, I was like, okay. Like, I've never seen this movie, never heard about it until you brought it up.
Okay.
Never watch it again. But what grabbed you about Last Gasp?
So, Buddy Mike, he's got his Necropolix server. He puts up all of his new suggestion. Well, this wasn't even a suggestion. He puts up a bunch of new movies like each week.
What caught your eye about this movie? I would have totally just went
Right.
past
Murray,
that.
it's simple. 90 minutes. That immediately caught my
attractive.
eye. I put on a lot of movies to just like get me through a little bit of my afternoon. I'm unemployed. I got to kill some time sometimes. 90-minute movie is the perfect way to do that. So that's how it got started. And I'm starting this movie out. It's supposed to be in Mexico. It doesn't look like Mexico at all. I was confused.
No yellow skies.
No yellow skies at all. And then I was like, wait a minute. That's the Terminator villain. Terminator 2 villain.
T-1000.
Robert T-1000
Robert
Patrick.
Butch Patrick.
Okay. So I was like, oh, shit. That guy creeped me out this whole movie. So that put it in my mind like, shit, I kind of want to do this.
Okay.
Then our show has evolved to the point where now we have
I mean, it's a great pick because I never, ever would have picked this movie.
Yeah.
So this is reflective of Griff.
This is not so much in the action category as it is in the thriller kind of category,
It's
though.
erotic thriller meets cannibal Indian possession.
I got to say, we did our sexual erotic month, and I feel like this one...
Where Canada's going to light up because Canadians love
Yeah.
our
That's a
sex
good point.
thrillers.
Yeah.
This the fuck, Griff. Oh, Canada. The O is for orgasm.
Yeah, it definitely is. This would put it at 1 or 2 for that month for sexual eroticism.
There's plenty. There's I'd take 2.5 sex scenes in this movie.
Yeah.
We're gonna rate them.
Oh, of course.
We're
That's-
gonna use, of course, I think it's part of the metric system now, the Svedson scale.
Yes, it is.
And we're gonna rate it on the Svedson scale.
I'm
of
sorry.
course, Highlander 3, the top. Nothing
Yes.
will ever top that.
You know
We've
what-
conceded to Svedson.
We've been talking. How do we like? What's a 10-minute content we need to do? We need to give people a nice brief on the Svedson scale, the highs, the
We
lows,
need some
the mids.
YouTube content to get more hate.
Right.
And since people do not want to listen to 3-hour podcasts on YouTube, we're
Right.
like, what can we do?
Right.
The quick in and out.
And give them a little visual of
No
what.
pun intended, in and out.
Yeah, I see what you did there, and it was great. Great technique you have there. Is that a ring on your dick, or are you just happy to see me? We're not getting engaged, everybody.
That's only mean a cock ring.
Exactly. But yeah, we got to give people the visuals too of what we see. We might have to put some ginties out there.
Yeah, I don't know if we're
We'll have to put some ginties on some parts. But as I was watching this, now that we have the Svedson scale in our life, I was like, oh shit, this is charting on the Svedson scale. Robert Patrick's doing some crazy good acting. I thought he was creepy as fuck. Mike actually asked me recently. He's like, "Hey, last guy, I'm gonna check that out. What's good about?" And I was like, "Robert Patrick."
He has it on his Plex and hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, come on, his collection's like over 1,500 movies at this point.
Yeah, I got like probably 100 movies I haven't even seen.
Exactly.
Either in my collection.
And then with all the sex scenes in this movie, I was like charting on the speeds.
It was very cinematic.
Yeah.
If this felt like this probably was on late night Cinemax like all the time.
Yeah.
But by that time, by 95, I was old enough if I wanted to see real porn, I could see it. So
Yeah.
I had no use for that shit.
So we've got Indian ground burial bullshit happening here. We've got Svedson scale. We got Robert Patrick going crazy. We got flippy hair on a detective.
90s fashion.
Oh my God, he was straight going full Townsend in this movie. And then we had,
Is that the connective tissue of Christmas in July? Floppy hair?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Actually, I think that works for next week's movie too. It doesn't work for the last. Oh no, it does. That might be the connective tissue. Can you not do that to his lunchbox?
It's
A cooler.
cooler.
And then
Never been
finally,
lunch. I could put lunch in it, but I don't.
this is also going to be a theme. 90s fashion.
Yeah.
This girl, Nora, who's been in a few other movies.
She was in
Rod-
Mark for Death, apparently. I don't
Yeah.
remember her at all. I guess she was the female lead. I don't remember her.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, she's
she
wearing.
was kind of foreign. What would she think? She's like Russian or something?
Yeah, she's
I
definitely
don't
got some
know.
Eastern European thing going on there.
Yeah.
But she was in there. She was
She,
rocking
did
some.
not, she didn't fuck in this, did she?
No, we did see her in the dream scene
Oh, that's right.
with her late
That was 'cause that was
husband.
my least favorite scene, so that's why I put it out of my mind.
Really?
Yeah. You like that one?
I mean,
Well,
it-
we'll get into it.
We'll get into it. We'll get into it. Guys, you see here, there's so much to talk about. I hope you're engaged in this conversation. I hope you go out and check.
I
It's a-
wish there was a way I could tell people who aren't going to listen to this because I don't know how it happens, but we always shine on the movies we don't really give a shit about, as opposed to we flopped a few times on movies we really love because
Yeah.
I think it's because we love them so much we like have an adrenaline dump or something.
It might
and then
be
we come
that.
in flat. But
Right.
No, I don't care at all about this movie, so I'm ready to fucking.
You
rip,
gotta
let it
find that
rip.
Goldilocks of hate. And we'll find that Goldilocks of hate in this movie. And there's some things to love about this movie. It's a Vinegar Syndrome movie, which you've heard us
So
talk
you know
about.
it's hot because they put out a lot of porn.
Right. So this is something.
By the way, Vinegar Syndrome, lower your prices. Even when you have sales, the shit's way too high.
$25 and shit. No,
Yeah.
thank you.
And that's sale price. And I'm
Yeah.
like, no, sorry.
Yeah, for a DVD.
It's a dying. You're lucky I'm buying DVDs still.
For a VHS
Dying industry.
upgrade to DVD. It's not like super
Yeah.
amazing quality. Their packaging, I will give them, is fantastic.
I mean, I've broken down twice for Vinegar Syndrome. Paid way too much, but I had to have the movies, New York Ninja, and of course Katevin.
Yes.
I have to have Katevin.
Yeah,
in
I have my
collection.
copy of Heaven as well.
Yeah, but that's it.
And no, I'm thinking of Mondo. I bought some records from Mondo.
Yeah. They're a little expensive too.
They
Their
are.
shipping is way expensive.
Yeah.
$10 is too much for a record.
But everybody, we're not going to charge you for a single bit of this shipment from Sant de Leos, Mexico. I forget where we were in Mexico. Up to your earballs, wherever you are. That is free. And coming right up here, Robert Patrick in Las Gasp.
I was assured that the construction site was in a controlled area.
It is.
It's inhabited by Totec. Their presence jeopardizes the construction of a project in which I have a substantial dollar investment.
Can't get too near a dying Totec. Something to do with their spirits.
Their spirits.
May God forgive us.
I don't need forgiveness. I can live with myself.
I understand your concern, but it's like I told you. Your husband left on his own. He'll come back if and when he wants to come back.
He was doing construction, working his way south. Any word yet from your young man, Julian? Not yet.
You ain't the registered owner. You see, you ain't Julian R.W.
Some folks do drop out intentionally. They abandon cars, wives.
The gardener let you in?
I'm a realtor. We were just out canvassing the area looking for some new listings. I mean, who do we know that's ever been to the jungle, let alone attacked by the natives? I was impressed.
Chase told you he built a hotel in Mexico, right? There were rumors at the time that he built it on a sacred land of the Totec. Did he tell you that? Did he tell you about the tendons?
Goldie? Do you know a man named Leslie Chase?
Developer?
Do you?
I've never spoken about this to anyone. I became that which I sought to destroy.
Interesting mythology.
It's no myth.
What about Julian? He was working construction for the company called LCC, Leslie Christian Chase.
Do it.
But it's no way I'm going to become what you are.
All right. That was a great trailer, Griff. I hope it was in English.
I think it was.
All right, so the credits roll. We're balls deep into Totec culture. And if I learned anything from Italian cannibal movies, all native people are cannibals at heart.
Yes.
I find it hard to believe there are any indigenous. I mean, there are indigenous people in Mexico, but they, I think, wear pants and shirts and shoes. I don't think they're wearing loincloths in Mexico. I mean, there are, deep in the Amazon rainforest, there are these tribes.
Yeah,
but
like-
I think Mexico's pretty first world.
Until Logan Paul finds out about them and goes over and does,
Well, I
YouTube
hope he gets
content.
eaten. I hope he gets eaten by them. That would be great.
I
Have Cannibal Holocaust starring Logan Paul.
Excuse me, we need to be careful here because we just wrote the next season's episode of Black Mirror. That would be a fucking great episode. They love doing that kind of shit. So let's save that one.
So, as we learn from this movie, all natives are savages. And
Of course.
We see that because they're doing a cannibalistic ritual.
Right? We got to paint our women blue before,
I didn't think they ate women because the whole idea of cannibalism is to get the spirit and the strength of your enemy. So you eat a man. 'Cause women, they're just there. They're not warriors. Come on.
Right.
Unless they're Xena.
Yeah, they're no Leela Hirsch.
Wait.
That was a joke for Murray.
Yeah. I know that. I know her.
Yeah.
I know her.
Thank you.
So, yeah, they're painting her body blue, I guess because they like Braveheart just like everyone else does.
Yeah.
And they're cutting out the heart because we know the Aztecs did that. The Mayans did that. Apparently the I did no research. Are the Totecs a real...
I did this research, actually. I was having a hard time telling what they were saying before I looked up the script of the movie to find the fucking print, what they were saying, because I heard 9 different things. I've terrible hearing, everybody. And so I did look up the tribes of Mexico, and no, Totecs were not listed.
So why didn't they just say Aztecs? Because we know that they actually did do human sacrifice. We learned it in Apocalypto.
I think they were trying to stay away from offending a real tribe.
This movie in the 90s.
I get it, but I'm okay with it.
This is such like rare tribe. There are only 5 members of this tribe. in this
Yeah, we
movie.
see like 6 people. You could introduce us to each person, but no, they don't do that.
So we're like, now we know what we're in for. We're like, holy shit, these people are ripping out hearts and eating them.
And that's where we cut over to the modern day Santa del Sol, Mexico.
That means Saints of the Sun.
That's right.
And we see our hero, Leslie Chase, who, did you notice, never smoked his pipe, was always tapping his pipe. That was the one thing I think Robert Patrick added to his character.
Dude, this is why I kind of love this. This is another little feature of this movie I really appreciate. Robert Patrick brings something to it.
He's showing that this man, Leslie Chase, is a refined gentleman because he smokes a pipe, just like Sherlock Holmes.
So they do
And
these
Santa Claus.
Yeah, they do these cuts where it's a close-up of a car door opening and him tapping the pipe out.
Yes.
So it's like he only
Residue.
smokes when he drives.
Apparently, yeah, because that's the only time we ever see the pipes. When
Yeah.
he's
Getting
out.
out.
Of his car.
So you don't see his face or anything. You just see the car door, the pipe tap.
And old Les, he's a land developer. He's a job creator. And he's creating jobs in Santa del Sol. He wants to turn Santa del Sol into the next Puerto Vallarta.
I want to get into that right now, but we got to do it in a minute. So he's got big dreams. He's like, yeah, your shithole country, we're going to turn it into a star. Finally.
So all the workers, of course, I guess it's fitting that you would hire Mexicans in Mexico, but usually here we hire Mexicans because they work cheap.
Right.
And apparently they work cheap in Mexico, too, because Leslie hires them, and they're disturbed. Something is going on at this site. A body has been found.
Right.
And it's one of the workers.
We're all ushered up into he's got the big skeleton of a building going up right now.
Right.
I thought maybe the kids from Kickboxer 3 might be living in here. Maybe. But
A little further south.
a little further south, of course. Thank you. Geography is my worst category. So we get up there and everything, and we're looking down, and we're just seeing from underneath the silhouette of a man who, not silhouette, it's just the shadow of his back hanging across like a mattress or something. He's
like kind of crucified, like on some girders or something.
Yeah,
You said it's a skeleton of a building.
Yeah.
And his heart has been removed. He's been painted blue.
Yeah, so his chest
Blue Man Group.
Yep, Blue Man Group. His chest has been split
like,
open.
I'm like, Alien, anybody? Have you seen Aliens? Chest hugger.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Ah, that's what my mind would immediately go there. I'd be like, oh my God, there's an alien on
Have
this
you guys
planet.
seen this movie?
Xenomorphs,
yeah. H.R. Giger?
But Les is like, yeah, so what? Like, can we keep... We got a deadline to meet. And they're like, there's some bad juju bone going on here, everybody.
No, you did not.
So he's like, don't worry about it. I'll make sure this guy gets the best funeral we've ever seen.
We're going to have a celebration. What do you guys call parties? Quinceañeras or something?
We're going to make sure his family never has to work again. And the next thing we know, we just see one of his underlings dumping the guy's body in the river.
He does before he goes off to the river. We got to point out, sir, his tendons were cut.
Achilles tendons are cut. That's a very Totec thing.
That's right, and his heart was ripped out. So we gotta point out.
So I'm like, why did the alien cut the tendons?
I know aliens usually aren't that fucking keen on human beings to cut out. They just murder ruthlessly. All right, and now we're going over to Leslie, and apparently he was talking to the sheriff. Was he the sheriff?
Yeah. You said contractor for some reason.
I didn't know what the fuck he was.
He was so obvious. He was wearing a sheriff's outfit.
Oh, was
with
he?
A cowboy hat. Yeah.
He had a cowboy hat?
Yeah.
I never saw him with a hat on.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'm making that up, but he was obviously a sheriff. I don't know why you thought he. I'm like, Leslie's the contractor.
I just gave him contractor because I needed a label for him.
They're hanging out on the porch as cops do in old westerns. Well, sheriffs do in old westerns. They're having some nice cervezas.
That's all right.
And he's like, and Leslie's like, what do I pay you to do? You're supposed to keep everybody safe. I'm trying to build this shithole into something big.
You know what? He's definitely a sheriff because what do laws protect? Property.
Right.
And so, of course, Leslie's here saying, I want my property protected. These people are fucking up my property.
And these people, he's like, what do you mean by these people? And the sheriff's like, well, the Totecs, they're the indigenous people here. They don't want you. This is their ground. This is their land. They don't want you developing it.
Right. You're building your fucking sweet hotel on their burial ground. You know, that's bad juju.
And then Leslie's like, you know what's good juju? Green, baby. You get rid of these motherfuckers, and we built this, and we are going to make Santa del Sol the hot place to go, the Ibiza.
The next Aruba.
You're going to have so many influencers coming down here.
I love
And
Sheriff's reaction to this. Meh. I kind of hate Americans.
I hate influencers.
I love him. He's got the right idea here.
And he's like, what? He's like, what would you like? Maybe getting that big job you want that I can do. I can make. I can get you. You can be running the whole police department here.
So, you know, our sheriff's just like, meh, you can't do shit. Well, I'm going to go talk to your boss tomorrow, so you better show up on the job site with me. Tall boots, just in case they go for your tendons.
Put on your big boy boots, buddy. Next morning, he's like, all right, senor, let's kill the Totex, which isn't hard. Like I said, there's only 5 members of this tribe.
Yes.
They're all men, so that makes sense. They're not reproducing.
Right. And you get a nice cut of the ICP song, Who's Going Totec Hunting? We Going Totec Hunting.
They're just in jeeps, woohoo, chasing after these guys who are in loincloths.
Is what you meant.
Yeah, and they're just taking them out. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, we're just getting cuts of people being run down and everything. We finally get one guy where everybody has to gather around. They shot him dead.
Right. Well, no, he's still breathing.
Yeah, no, he's still breathing. Yeah, but it's like when you harm a deer and it can't go anywhere. It's suffering, and it's like you got to put this deer down. But it's a fucking human being.
Well, I don't care. They fucking sacrifice people. One good sacrifice deserves another, as far as I'm concerned. So he's like, hey, senor, how about you? And this is the last Totec of all.
What do I pay you for? I don't get these hands dirty. My hands are tied.
And then he's like, he pulls out the gun. I think you need to do this, sir. Or what are you? Cheeky? Are you polo?
Let me tell you a little thing about the Totec as well. Don't get too close when you do it, gringo. Because the Totec spirits get into your nose.
Did we explain that, first of all, Griff and I, we both don't know geography, but we do know that Mexico has piss yellow skies. And they were not yellow. The Mexican filter was not on this. So I was like, where am I? Like, I was so confused by this.
Where am I? Who am I? To add a little bit of Neil Breen to our life.
So, like you said, he's like, he's like, Totecs are like gremlins. They have rules. And the one rule is don't get near them when they're dying, or they will gasp their spirit into your face.
So just to spit in their face and be like, no, that's not a thing. I'll do it. Give me the gun. Shoots the Totec in the head. We don't see it, of course. We just see him shoot down into nothingness. And he goes,
who does see it? Another Totec. We thought we got them all.
Oh, yeah. You just hear a range stick pour over in anger. That's an angry range stick. We don't have that sound ready to go here. So we did it.
We're bare bones here.
That's right. We're bare boning.
Yeah,
this
we see
movie.
like a badass Totec. He has head shaved. He's got the war paint on. He's watching all of this.
This is good. You said Road Warrior paint, but no, this is Ultimate Warrior paint.
I said Totec paint.
Yeah, no, I know, but you told me earlier. You were like, it's like Road Warrior paint, but I think it's closer to the Ultimate Warrior, right? I think Ultimate Warrior.
I'm thinking about early, because remember when Hawk and Animal would change it up? Like, they eventually had their, like, traditional.
I didn't see a spider on it, though.
No, but I'm talking about Hawk. I said Hawk.
Oh, okay. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar. I'll give you, maybe Dingo Warrior, I'll give you.
Were you able to find pictures? We got to give people some pictures of this shit.
They don't care. But, yeah, he's wearing war paint. And it looks like a wrestler, like, you know, and he's pissed off because he's the last of his kind now.
Yeah, he is running around in the jungle with wrestling trunks on, so that makes sense too.
And so it's like he's like revenge.
Yeah, we do a nice soft fade away, and we're back at the sheriff's little
back on
place.
the porch, having more cervezas.
This is where I'm like, I'm not gonna enjoy this movie. Like, I don't know where we are. I don't know when we are. I don't know who to care for. We'll get there, people.
Yeah, it's like, am I supposed to sympathize with someone I just saw rip a heart out of a woman at the beginning of the movie? We know you don't sympathize with rich white guys.
Right. So I hope if you're hearing this and you watch the movie, you're like, where is this going, guys?
This is on Tubi, by the way, so you can see it.
Oh, it is on Tubi,
yes,
too? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'd advise it. I think this is a pretty fun movie to watch. So they're back. They're talking about it. Yeah, we fucking took them all out. We're going to be able to build our super sweet complex hotel. What do they call them? Resort? Yeah, our resort.
Yeah.
We're going to be able to employ so many people for minimum wage. It's going to be awesome.
Les did the thing where he took some of the natives' blood and like wiped it on his face. Like he's like into it big time.
Disgusting. And then we just get the cut of a bow being drawn.
This is like a predator arrow. It's like a gigantic arrowhead on this thing. It's made out of like fucking obsidian or some kind of like volcanic rock.
Though whatever the tip of this arrow was incredible.
It was like a predator thing.
And the knife as well.
Yeah.
The hilt on that knife. But how it lands in this person, we got it. I could do 9 minutes on that alone.
We'll do it.
We got the fucking bow being drawn, and then you have the sheriff just all confident, like, hey, let's forget about it. Next thing you know, whink, arrow in his neck. But just the tip of it is sticking out of his neck. The arrow doesn't go through his neck. And it does a peacemaker where he gets shot through the front, but it goes to the side. You were very upset about that. Yeah. You saw that clip that you posted on Twitter, not Threads.
And people loved on Twitter, by the way, too. And so what do toe techs do? They cut the tendons. And what happens is, all right, Leslie's freaking out, looking all around, and then, because they're on a porch, the toe tech leaps through the roof of the porch.
Yeah, it's got the fucking roof over it.
Comes down, and he's got that gigantic knife. Leslie runs, but not before he gets slashed on his Achilles tendon. And so he's like limping now because you can't walk with that.
Yeah, so he's going through the house. He gets a gun. He's able to kind of like, keep this toe tech warrior at bay and everything. He gets to his Jeep. He's thinking, okay, I'm safe. I'm going to drive away. Puts his gun down to start up the car and get moving and everything. And there's the toe tech warrior jumping at him. Got the knife out. Slashes him in the neck. But he's so...
They struggle. They're on the ground. I guess it's because like Les knocks the knife away. So now they're on the ground struggling. I think the toe tech's on top of Les.
Yes. He's got that exposed neck, and what we know about cannibals, they're like vampires. They see blood, and they lose their fucking mind because he's like, I got to drink your blood right now. That's sweet pumping blood.
So he bites right into the neck of Leslie. Leslie's like sees the gigantic knife. He's grabbing for it, catches it, stabs the toe tech warrior through the neck. Dead. But not before that last gasp. You see the spirit just leaving the body. And Leslie ingests it.
Cut to Boone County, Pennsylvania, motherfucker.
6 years later.
Nora Weeks is asking...
Her passion sense pretty weak.
That's how we're starting this out? Her fashion sense? Do you remember what she was wearing in the scene, Murray?
I just remember a series of mom jeans. Like high-waisted, cinched at the waist. Like baggy, but cinched at the waist.
What bothered me more is it wasn't just that they're high-waisted jeans. They're like potato sack jeans because there was the belt loop and then there's like 4 more inches of jean.
Yeah.
And she would cinch him so tight that the 4 extra inches above the belt would flap over like she was wearing potato sack.
She was wearing clown pants.
They were
very
clown
skinny
pants.
woman.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
And she's once again at the police station asking about her husband, Julian. She's like, where is he? Of course, the cops. They just cross their fucking wrists.
Lieutenant.
Lady, we've been through this.
We deal with one cop in this movie who's mislabeled in IMDb. I sent them my anger. They have it in there as Flad B. It's clearly Fladbeau.
Or flagpole, as Nora calls him.
That's right.
Later on.
That's that.
So while she's arguing, there's this ne'er-do-well character, this private investigator outside. I guess he just hangs out at police stations looking for cases, cold cases.
How do you get work when you're a private detective, Murray?
Well, you advertise. That's what you do.
No, advertising bullshit. Elon taught us that.
This guy, probably my least favorite character in it. He epitomizes the 90s for me.
Wow. What, Murray, what could epitomize the 90s for you?
Well,
dress him down. Dress him up.
You know, from now on, we're going to call his hairstyle the Townsend. Because it's the fuck. It wasn't. I think Townsend had it parted down the middle. He had it parted on the side, but it was way too long. It was very long.
Did he just do one side?
Yeah, he parted it on the side, but I know I would probably confuse you because it was so fucking long.
Yeah, it was very long.
Because when I had thicker hair, I parted it on the side, but I never had it long on the side.
Yeah.
You know? And he did, and that irritated me. And of course, he's wearing a baggy suit because it's the 90s.
Right.
Everything about him was offensive to me.
He didn't wear a raincoat. Detectives wear raincoats.
No, he just wore a baggy suit, a wrinkled baggy suit.
Right.
Ray Tattinger.
He didn't even smoke.
Did not even have a pipe to tap.
A good detective smokes.
You're just channeling Columbo for some reason.
I always channel Columbo. He's my detective, Murray. We've done Copping a Field.
Yes. And he's just like, I hear a case. Maybe I can, talk this woman into hiring me.
He swoops in, realizing opportunity awaits. I could probably get some money out of this woman. They head back to a restaurant. You own a restaurant?
Nora's Bistro.
And you know that means money. Yeah. Restaurant owners make bank. 9 figures easily.
Well, because they don't pay their workers. So yeah.
Exactly.
It's up to us to pay their workers.
Yeah, exactly. In America, tippers pay your fees.
So he heads to the restaurant.
We're sitting down there. We're having some beautiful eggs. She makes him hard-boiled eggs.
Were they?
Yeah. Well, that's what a good chef would do.
Hard-boiled. Yes, I did notice. Was there a black Caesar too? A black Caesar salad?
It was an attempt.
I did see a partially ripened cherry tomato somewhere in there.
It was a half and half.
Was it an Iron Eagle buffet? Where it's just random food on a plate.
Maybe if she had more time, it would have been Murray. But no, it wasn't quite an Iron Eagle, which is what we call that dish now, the Iron Eagle.
Right, just random shit on a plate that doesn't work at all.
We're still working on getting a publisher to put out our cookbook because we've had so many.
Well, I'm still working on my children's book, but yes, a cookbook is next. So she relates to him. Yeah, he had. Because here's the thing, and this is when you're a real man and your lady's making more money than you, that bothers you. And that bothered Julian, that she was a successful restaurateur and he was a loser. So he ran away from home to do the construction up north.
Right.
He's like, I got to be a man. And a man does manly jobs.
Yeah.
There's this construction job up north. I'll see you there, lady.
He would chase the construction sites up and down the coast.
It's the 90s version of Running Away and Joining the Circus.
Right.
You join the construction zone. Because they go from place to place.
And
he bothered me too. He had a very plaid upon plaid upon plaid.
Jesus Christ.
Flannel on flannel. Correct me if I'm wrong, but was there really a scene where Julian, her husband, had a flannel shirt on with a flannel shirt tied around his waist?
100% Murray. We're all about the details, and this is why this fits into this show, but I still enjoy this movie regardless.
Oh my God, because when the grunge thing hit, and this is, even though this is like a year after grunge died, but you had fashion designers doing that. Because when I was a kid, if it was like you're outside wearing a jacket and it got hot, then you would tie it around your waist because you didn't want to hold your jacket. It wasn't a fashion statement.
Yes.
No, this guy, he's obviously making a fashion statement because he's wearing a flannel shirt and has a flannel shirt around his waist.
Yeah. Doing a whole lot.
There were people charging like $100 for flannel shirts back then, but it was like
Jesus.
It was like whatever the Italian name on it that I got it. It's like if you bought an Armani T-shirt for fucking $80 or something now. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Flannel. So Tanager hears all these cases, taking all of his notes, and he's like, up north. Okay, let's head up there. And we follow him up north.
I love that all he has construction site up north. Like there's only construction going on in one place.
So he hits the main road where all the construction's happening.
And to let you know, there's like shorthand that he's like your average like noir detective. Convertible,
Yes.
cool guy car.
Yeah.
Junk food and liquor, like all through it, because he's a sloppy guy,
Right.
you know. All the shorthand stuff that you're like, okay, that's the classic fucking detective.
Exactly. We're heading up there.
Playing, of course, we know he's got great taste because he's playing the blues too. White guys in the blues.
Yeah, I did hear Steven Seagal licks in there. Poonanny. Guys, that is a Steven Seagal song.
Yes, we've played it many times.
We have played it multiple times. And we get up to construction sites, and
it was Blues Hammer, actually, what he was playing.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And he's asking the assistant, the main assistant of the construction site. He's asking about the names. Weeks, Weeks. Why are you asking about that? I'm his insuranceman.
He's an insurance adjuster, is what he says.
That's what it was. And that's when we get Leslie rolling up, tapping his pipe
I'm
out.
glad you said rolling up because they took their time on that Mercedes. Fucking. I was like, man, that would make a great keychain. I was looking at that. You don't see him anymore.
You're an 80s boy. That's
I gotta have that. I can just rip it off.
I'm surprised you've never swiped one.
I've involuntarily, my arm was just going at the screens. I wanted to take that Mercedes Benz. That's classy.
That's classy.
But yeah, they really zeroed in, like slowly rolled into frame, zoom in on the fucking, I don't know. And then, like you said, then we hear tap, 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 tap. That fucking pipe. We know
pipe.
It's Leslie.
That's right. He immediately, you're parked in my spot.
Oh, look at her right away. And he gets in, you know.
It's game recognizing game. I love this. There's tension here. I love this fucking scene. I think it's really good. And
we know that there's something off about Leslie. You noticed he has hair slicked back.
Yes.
Gelled to the gills.
Yeah.
Before he had just like dry hair, no conditioner, and he had a little scruff on his face. Now he's clean shaven. Gordon Gekko all the way.
Gordon Gekko all the way. So he's coming out. He's got this guy, Tattinger, asking questions. He doesn't know his name. I'm just using his name for podcast sake. Tattinger just takes off as soon as he says, you're in my spot. He's like, yeah, of course. Tattinger knows he needs to live to fight another day. He needs to lay low in these moments still. So he fucks off, and we follow along with Leslie. He's asking his assistant, what the fuck was this guy? Oh, he's just an insurance adjuster. He's looking for some guy who's never been on our papers. Oh, who would that guy be? Julian Weeks? Never heard of him.
So now that piques Leslie's interest because he knows who Julian Weeks is. So he goes home to his mansion on Ravenwood, and this
is a giant estate, gated in and everything. Gardens. He's got a fucking gardener.
He's just walking because he's worried about this Weeks character. We don't know what he's done yet, but he's worried. And then we have a nice flashback to what we just saw earlier with the murder of the Totec Indian by him and the last gasp.
And then we cut back. We're getting tense here. We're like, oh shit, what's going on with this guy? Well, what's going on with our main character? She's had less screen time than Leslie has. Nora. She's at home watching some of those home tapes.
Yeah, like that's another shortcut we use in movies to reminisce about a lost loved one. You make constant videotapes of your loved one.
Yeah, it's very a la Rollerball, where he's constantly watching the videos.
She did have 3 TVs.
That's right. Just a console of TVs in her wall.
And she's watching and reminiscing. Apparently, they made a sex tape on this thing.
It's so weird because it starts out so innocuous, and then he takes off his shirt. He's just got his jeans on.
He's naked, but he still has a flannel shirt wrapped around his waist.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
but this is a Karen sex fantasy. This is the first of 3 Sweets and Scale.
This is your least favorite. I want to hear you describe
because it was very Karen about it. It was very because there's candles everywhere.
Yeah,
very boring middle-aged woman sex, I thought.
Kenny G was
There was
playing.
no heat at all to this scene, I thought.
Even though the candles are burning, no heat.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's one of those things where, like, 'cause they're not fucking. They're just like, 'cause she's like, it's one of the things where she's like got her legs wrapped around him kind of thing.
We see either her tits or a stunt
Did
double's
we?
tits. Yeah,
I
we
mean,
do
see. That's how out of the scene I was. Well,
Jesus.
it didn't help that he was wearing a flannel shirt, naked with a flannel shirt wrapped around.
Yeah,
his
I think I saw a tube sock.
By the way, I
peeking.
just want we might this might be years before we get to this movie, but talking about bad sex scenes, I watched a Gary Daniels movie recently where the sex scene was him and his wife were wearing identical mom jeans. And thank God they cut away before anything happened because I almost vomited.
Denim on denim.
Yeah. And, okay, so, yeah, I'm giving this a 2. I'm sorry. I was just like, away with you, sex
Yeah,
scene.
you've only described that he was wearing a flannel and there was candles.
Well, that's it. There was nothing to it.
You don't even remember that there was tits in it.
I know. That's how bad it was.
We had music. You didn't hear
I
the music?
hated the music. It was some
Okay.
lip dick, fucking Celine Dion, like power ballad horse shit.
Okay, and
And
there
literally limp dick. I could not get an erection if this music was playing.
there was a moment. I'm just making sure everybody gets a false view, even though I gave this to Murray. He fumbled it. We went down her chest and then up his torso where he did a hair flip.
I don't even remember that. Put it
Still
on my brain.
nothing? Still a 2?
No. Yes, 2. I might give it a 1 because you're explaining it even more. 'Cause I put so much of it out of my mind.
Jesus.
What's your rating?
I
for
give it a 3. It wasn't awful.
Yeah.
It wasn't as bad as you're
I
saying it
love-
was.
It's like I give it 1 more than you. Yeah, it's good. Unless you're rating on a scale of 1 to 3, I don't know what the fuck. We're going by 1 to 10, right?
I mean, I wasn't in love with it or anything. There's scenes in this movie later that are more passionate
Well,
that we'll
yes,
get into.
we're gonna get to that, but
Right. And obviously, we didn't know that coming into this first sex
This is
scene.
a middle-aged cat lady sex scene.
Right.
This is what that she would find hot.
I mean, maybe if I bought into Nora a little bit more, I would have thought this was sexual. more
Bro, I
sexual.
want you to watch this movie, and I want
Please.
you to give us your Swedes and Scale ratings for these scenes. I
I
want a woman's perspective.
We get 120 plus downloads on each episode. We need everybody to start chiming in on the speeds and scale. You don't have to watch the whole movie. Watch the fucking
Go on
sex
Mr.
scenes.
Skin, if that still exists, and watch just the sex scenes from this
We
movie.
need that's our angle. We need to know. We need everybody to be getting together over these sexual scenes. 3.
It was so passionate, Griff, she fell asleep watching it. Or
That's
was
right.
she watching it, or was she dreaming this? Because what happens is, all of a sudden, Julian turns into Leslie.
Yeah, a hand is going across her face, and she realizes that's not a fucking contractor's hands or a construction man's
That's
hands.
soft, clammy.
That's like a middle management guy's hands. These are awful. What's going on? And then she
Pasty.
sees a tattooed hand and looks up at a tattooed face,
Whoa.
slicked back hair.
Did she?
She saw the face. She did.
But did she see? She'd never seen Leslie's face. Though,
She
right?
saw. You know what? This is what doesn't make sense.
I've already
because
forgotten
you-
what we talked about.
Yeah,
last
I
half
know.
hour ago.
No, we didn't.
She never met Leslie.
She has not met Leslie yet,
Okay.
and yet she saw his face, which, according to science, is not a real thing, unless she saw his face on TV. You never imagine a
course.
face you've never seen in life
Of
before.
course.
This is just real,
Especially done up with makeup.
especially done up with makeup.
So wow, that was like a little bit of a jump scare.
And then we go into the next morning. It's that easy, Murray. Eggs, bacon, coffee. Tattinger meeting with Nora again. He's got news because he went to those construction sites.
He said there's no record of Julian working for these guys, but the workers did remember him. So
Yeah.
he was up there.
Management didn't remember him, but the workers were like, "Oh yeah, that guy with the fucking flannel, with the flannel around his waist,
Flannel and flannel and
fucking
flannel.
weird as shit." So that was Tattinger's first question: was your husband into the grunge scene? Did he wear flannel on flannel? Yes,
She's-
of course.
Is that what she sounded? And he's like, that's all I got, though. And she's like, well, I got this recently in the mail, an impound notice for his Mazda Miata he had.
Yeah. He's already wiping his hand. There's nothing else up north. I'm never going up there
I'm
again.
glad he had a shitty car, at least. Because I hate it when everybody, no matter what their income is, has a fucking, like, $50,000 car or some shit.
I don't even, and to give credit to Nora, I don't even think she had a car.
No, it was very walkable where she lived.
Yeah,
she commented on that many times.
Were they in California?
I think they were.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can't tell by the filters. No filters. So I can't see.
No filters.
So, yeah, she's like, well, here's a lead for it. He's like, oh, I'll check that out.
Now, we're getting over to, because we just cut straight over to this impound, and that's where we get a classic character. I was like, this guy's been in shit. This guy's been in everything, right? I don't recognize him for anything. I looked him up on IMDb. I think he's been in one other thing.
I saw he was on, like, Star Trek Voyager, the
yes.
Vulcan.
Yeah, he had a character.
I'm looking at it and go, is that the lead singer of Power Trip? Like, is that what happened to him? He didn't die? He just did this?
That guy? Yeah, you
Yeah.
thought it was him?
Yeah.
Riley, I think his name is?
Yeah.
Wow. I thought it was Freddie Prinze Jr. or something, or one of those,
Well,
one of those
he
90s guys.
He was going method. I liked him because, first of all, his name was Dwayne, which is the name I would expect a guy who just works a tow truck would have.
Yes.
And he had a dirt stash. He
Dirt
went
stash,
full method.
shitty hair. I liked it.
Weird accents.
A dingy fucking sense. They're in Pennsylvania. It says it in the
right.
fucking movie. Did you say that again? When I was saying, like, are we in California? They told us we're in Pennsylvania.
Because they didn't have the Pennsylvania filter on, which we saw in 8mm. It's always a gray, like a bluish gray.
See, we're from the Midwest. It's kind of the Midwest. We would have known. No, they filmed this clearly. But yeah, Dwayne wearing a Cincinnati Reds hat, which is interesting. That means he's a fucking reject from Ohio.
Right.
So not even Ohio wanted
But
him.
like I said, this guy Dwayne took his role seriously.
I loved him. And he had that, like you said, he had that weird fucking accent. And so you got Tattinger coming in here. He spots Julian's car. He had like a weird truck. And so he's like, hey, I need to get in this truck. It's my client's. And he's using all of his big, detective. He's using his social skills.
His detective lies. As like, I'm sorry that I don't know who you think you are, but you ain't the owner of this place. I need the owner to get in his car.
You have his fucking ticket or whatever there, but you don't. That's not your name.
He's like, this car has been sitting here for 2 weeks. You got a man 2 weeks ago, and because he's like, I'm gonna sell it at an auction unless you can prove that you're the owner. And he's like, he can't. So he's like, all right, well, here, maybe this will refresh your memory. Hands over $100 bill.
So I do say, the people already look a little down on me. When I got the hair and the Cincinnati Reds hat, they haven't been good for 40 fucking years. No one wears this with pride.
Charlie Hustle.
That's right, Charlie fucking Hustle.
Pop out of Matt Sosi probably.
Oh yeah,
And, I think he's a baseball guy.
Hey, Spencer Steer,
Joe Corey. I know you got a boner.
Jonathan India. Let's talk Reds.
Johnny
Ellie De La
Bench.
Cruz.
Talking
Let's
Johnny
go.
Bench. We're going way back.
We're going way back.
Machine.
Pete Rose.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Charlie Hustle. I said
Charlie
that.
Hustle?
Yeah.
How do you end up with Charlie Hustle?
No fucking idea.
Okay. And so this guy's just like, look, everybody already looks down on us people. They think we're all dirty. And I know I got a dirt stash, but no, I'm not dirty. I'm clean.
But I'll still take your $100 bill.
Well, yeah, because he really can't. Just knocking shit over while we're trying to be in the zone here. Because what was it? He asked him, where did you find the car, I think?
Trying to get a fly.
Oh, he's trying to get a fly. Oh, that makes sense. He caught a mouse this morning.
Good.
He's doing a great job of that. I woke up to a fucking half a dead mouse on the floor.
Better than half a live one.
There we go. What was it? I think he found out what street the car was picked up on or something. No, because
didn't
even when he
matter. He
asked
just
him that,
found out.
he was like, oh, just the city somewhere.
Yeah.
I forget what clue he got, but he
He
paid
didn't
him.
get any clue. That's why he had to come back later on. So he waits, like, across the street, sits in his car, sees Dwayne leave, lock up, climbs over the fence, got his little Slim Jim on him, works it, chunk, opens it up.
Chonka.
He can't wait to griff this car. He's like, yes, his fingers are all going.
Well,
like
he's
that.
got a couple of grunge CDs down there. even flow.
Well, this is how a poser Julian was, because he was obviously channeling Scott Stapp from Creed. It was all Creed fucking CDs.
Wide open.
With arms wide open.
I'll take you to my place.
People, that's what's called singing authentically.
Yeah.
When you, oh yeah, oh yeah.
I know all you people who haven't been on an episode yet are just hearing this and being like, I could be on their episode and sing Scott Stapp.
I heard.
You could.
I don't want to. This is a true story. Creed might be coming back. They might be reuniting. Just to let you know. So save up your money, because it's going to be at least $5,000 a ticket.
They're selling out every arena. I hear.
So he opens it up and he notices some. He's like, "Is that ketchup on the seat?" And he puts his finger on it, rubs his fingers together, tastes it. He's like, "That's much too coppery for
That's
ketchup."
definitely not one of the hot sauce packets from Taco Bell.
It's blood.
Blood.
And before he can do anything about that, Dwayne flips out and starts destroying the car.
Crowbar through the fucking side
He was
window.
gonna fucking auction his car off and make at least $2,000.
Supposedly. And now we're in a crowbar fight. We're fucking tussling around. We're going into the garage. We're going into the garage.
Did you like what I said in the notes? You said B and E, and I put B and G.
I was gonna
breaking
comment.
and gripping.
I was gonna comment on that when I realized it when you were talking there for a minute, but then I got on a groove and you derailed it to point out your nice little.
Well, yeah,
fucking-
it's a great joke. Breaking and griffing, people.
Half the jokes are just for us, and that's why it's like, hey, we didn't get the double, and I was like, but we had.
But Tattinger, maybe he blinded him with his floppy hair. He gets on top and gets a drill.
That's right.
And he puts it in his crotch. He's like, "I will drill your nuts off unless you tell me what's going on here."
And that's where we learn. He just tells me where to pick him up. That's it.
Ooh, I don't know, man.
All I got is he.
He doesn't ask for. He gets me all the money. He doesn't want to cut. He just tells me where abandoned cars are, and I
Don't
go
you
get
think
'em.
that's really fucking shady if he doesn't want to cut? You
I
don't
don't
think?
give a shit. He gives it all to me.
Seems pretty smart to me. Clean $100.
So now he's got a lead. He knows some guy.
Well, he tells him.
You know something shady's going on with Julia.
Tattinger tells him, "You're gonna call me the next time you get a call from this guy. Otherwise, I'm gonna go to the police because this is obviously a fucking racket you got going on here." So to keep the police off his back, Dwayne goes along with it and agrees to call him the next time he gets a call from the guy.
Speaking of that guy, I don't want to spoil alert. It's Les, and we see him back at his mansion, stately Les Manor, and there's like, is there constantly lightning striking every time he's going into his fugue state? Because
we've heard all the time about how China can control their weather. He's got China technology here.
it's like you'd see like a cartoon where like the Munsters or Addams Family would live. It says like there's constantly a black cloud over it and raining
in a automatic
over his
in an
house.
organ playing for some reason.
And he has another flashback to that fight with the toe tech. So now, who knows? You notice like days and weeks are very odd in this movie too. They're jumping around.
Everybody, all of our devotees know we're obsessed with timelines in movies.
Microwave time.
Yeah. The timeline in this movie is all over the place. You do
Weeks
not
go by, and we're like, I thought it was the next day.
Right. Leslie, 6 years go by. Leslie, all he has is slick back hair and a scar on his neck. Right. That's it.
So he's like, yeah, I got a call. There's a Porsche. Don't fuck with that car. I can make a lot of money off that, but you heard it from me. It's at Ravenwood, like 1600 Mockingbird Lane.
6942.
And
420.
so he's got a lead. So he goes to there, Ravenwood Lane, and there's a gated community, like you said. So he climbs.
It's just
over
his
it.
house. His house.
That's the
is
one
gated.
thing Tattinger's good at, climbing over fences.
Well, he throws his coat over like he's going to climb over the gate, and then when he starts to put his weight on the gate, the door just swings open. Think about that. Think about that. He thinks he's B and G-ing, and it turns out he's just E-ing, entering.
Right. And so he sees there's one car that's got like a tarp over.
Yeah,
it.
3 cars are lined up. He walks
One's a
up.
Porsche, so
He
Dwayne wasn't lying.
He finds the car that Dwayne was called in about, and he's like, "Oh shit, here we go." But then that tarp
And he sees that bulge in the front.
Oh, you know this bulge. You're a big fan of bulges. What kind of bulge we got here?
I'm a big fan of. What's I don't even. I'm like, it's been so long since I've seen one. What's the word? Is car emblem? I don't remember what they call those.
Shit.
Hood ornament.
Hood ornament.
Yeah, the bulge of a hood ornament. I'm very keen on, and I see the shape of that one, and it looks pretty good. It looks very Mercedes-ish.
Yeah.
So he pulls off the tarp, and lo and behold, it is that Leslie. Foreshadowing people earlier, there was a reason they homed in on that, because it's Leslie's car.
Yeah.
You even see a pipe inside the ashtray.
That's right. And you see the dread go over Tate's face. He's like, fuck, I actually solved the case. And he starts beelining it back to his car, and that's when we get the cut. As he runs by, we just have Toe Tech Warrior Leslie.
Right. And he's like, what a rush. What a rush. Cuts the fucking the Achilles, because he's going to try to get through the gate. Cuts the Achilles tendons. You can't do anything when your Achilles tendons are cut. You can't walk or anything.
Right.
And then he just gets like stabbed. So we're like, oh, goodbye, Ray. Hey, nobody misses you.
That's right.
Floppy ass there, your Townsend cut.
Was it this movie? I've watched like 9 movies this week. I can't remember if it was this movie where they just like throw in Wilhelm's scream, just fucking.
Next day, we see Nora with her friend Goldie. No, not Goldie the pimp from the Mac. Just some bra with blonde hair.
Or Goldie from Sin City.
Okay, yeah.
Who's played by Brittany Murphy, I think.
I barely remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's the mouthy friend that every fucking main female character has in a movie, and she's hot to trot, always horny, ready to fuck. And played by, I don't know her name, but she was married to Wes Craven apparently in the early 80s. So she was in Nightmare on Elm Street 1 and Swamp Thing. I don't remember it all from either of those
I don't remember.
movies.
I remember, what's her name? Adrienne Barbeau, and that's it. And
Well,
the little black kid.
The Barboobs fucking hypnotized you. She must have been one of the hoes in Arcane's, like, Pleasure Castle or whatever.
Oh, and Ray Wise. How could you forget Ray Wise in that movie? Oh,
and
my God.
So, not my type. I mean, she's not an ugly woman. A little too skinny for me. But
she's got the buns of steel from the early 90s.
Little too, yeah. She's very waspy vision of beauty. Very skinny.
Waspy.
Yeah, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. Like people who live in Birmingham is that kind of shit.
White.
You've never heard the term WASP ever?
Aside from the band?
White Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
Holy shit.
It's basically like people who live in West Bloomfield or that kind of area.
Right.
Very white. And they love emaciated women with blonde hair. That's their ideal beauty. You know, you're anorexic and you have blonde hair. That's not my type. So I'm kind of not into Goldie. She's not, like I said, she's not unattractive. I'm just not into her.
What about her hair?
I didn't care for it.
Blonde and kind of curly? You weren't into that?
Well, she had it up to here, didn't she?
She usually had it up, but you could see it was curly.
Well, I don't know.
It had volume to it. That's why you're a volume.
Yeah, I am
you
a
like
volume.
your volume. You like your volume spread about too.
I put this movie out of my mind, Griff. So I'm really
Murray,
almost.
you can't do this.
I'm almost seeing it for the first time for your descriptions, which is what you do when you listen to our show.
Yeah, that's what the point is to see it. See it from our description.
I was so hoping this would be like a quick 90-minute episode. This is gonna be a 2-hour one, people. So strap in.
Yeah, I know.
We're only halfway. We're not even halfway through this movie.
We're halfway through. There's a lot to go down.
All
There's
right,
still
so
2 speeds
there, she's like I said, she's the mouthy friend that every boring main female character has.
It turns out she's also a realtor.
Yes, which every white chick wears a business suit is a realtor.
I'm sorry, realtors out there, but you do fake work.
Yeah,
you're useless.
And so they go up to Tattinger's office, and some guy's cleaning it out. He apparently had a refrigerator in his office, and he's taking that. And this would have been a perfect Stan Lee cameo because he reminded me of Stan Lee. And they're like,
right.
And they're like, is this Ray? What happened? He's like, oh, you fell for that fucking Ray. It's no scam by Ray.
Yeah, that guy been scamming everybody. He says the PI. He told me he could find my pigeon. He didn't find my pigeon. I tell you what he did find. A bottle of liquor.
And he's like, you know what? Take whatever you want. Go Griffin for all you're worth, lady.
I gotta tell you, the Salvation Army's coming, but you can griff anything you want out of this building. Get the fuck in there. I feel $500. So we go in there.
And Griff, they do.
And Goldie's just like, well, maybe this guy didn't scam you. Maybe always the optimist, Goldie.
Nora starts griffing the desk.
I want to take a minute here, Murray, because this is the outfit I remember.
Okay.
We're talking Nora, by the way.
The worst. I'll get to mine. I hate one I hate the most. But yeah, go.
I feel like this overlaps a little bit here, but I want to explain it. I'm starting at the feet. She's got like the Vans on. They look like Vans, black Vans. But then she's got the pant
Not the checkered ones?
They weren't checkered. They're just black. White shoelaces, if you want to know. And then black and white socks.
Okay.
They kind of faded, so they blend in a little bit. And then she rolled her pant legs to make sure you saw some sock when she was standing. Mm-hmm. So we go further up the pants, and of course, they're high-waisted mom jeans. Yeah. But then they have that potato sack feature where she's got the belt cinched and more jean like flowing over. And then she went full Oingo Boingo, has suspenders holding up the jeans.
I put this out. This is so terrifying. I put it out of my mind.
And then she had a fucking long...
So she had fucking a belt and suspenders?
Yes, and I didn't even catch this the first time I watched it. I took a picture for you so you could...
Yeah, you'll be seeing that.
And it's her like standing there looking at evidence in this scene, and you could see the belt line, you could see the suspenders... And so she's got...
The 90s was such a sexless decade.
Yeah.
And that was that's supposed to be my prime. My late teens, early 20s, nothing was hot.
Except for Garth Brooks and his shirts tucked into those
that
jeans.
just tells you how awful the 90s sucked. Don't let anyone tell you they were good.
Apparently there's like a conspiracy theory around Chris Gaines going to towns and then the murders jumping in those towns after he leaves. So just...
He did have a Townsend haircut.
He did have a Townsend haircut, you're right. Yeah. And then she has like a billowy long sleeve.
Everything was billowy back then. Yeah.
Rolled up past her elbow shirt, and then she had the headband on too.
Headband? I don't remember that at all.
Wife beater covering her chest.
Oh my god! I put that out of my mind.
I will show you the picture, but everybody, you'll see that on the
Goldie's
Twitter feed.
looking a whole lot better now compared to that look.
Goldie's always got the realtor like tight pencil dress or whatever.
Well,
you know?
like
blazers and high heels.
Lady suit.
The hair's all like I thought her hair was always great, so I thought you'd be into that too.
I don't remember. I'm sorry, I just blocked this shit out.
Come on, I do 48 of your movies a week, and I bring it every time. Okay. I'm sorry.
So they're griffing through. They
Nora's griffing.
Just notices a case file that says Weeks on it. She's like, okay, well, I'll allow it. If it says her name on it and he's disappeared with the $500, she can griff through that.
Right. What does she find in there?
Well, she finds the check, that $500 check that she gave Ray. So she's like, Goldie's like, well, maybe he is a nice guy. Like, he didn't cash the check. And then she's going through all the leads he has. Not much shit there, except there's an address. Les's address for Ravenwood. So now she's going to do her own lead. All right, Griff. Get the Sweden scale out again. What's the scene?
Well, we're cutting to the middle of nothing.
Cornfields.
I don't remember Pennsylvania being known for cornfields.
Every place has cornfields. This is
but
America.
They were going up north.
It's America. All we do is eat corn.
Corn
syrup.
We do love our corn. So they find that northern part of Pennsylvania where her husband happened to be working.
Where are those people? The Amish people.
Oh, the more
Amish.
Just the Amish.
Dutch Amish, I think is what they call them.
There's the other ones that have the M name that reminds me of the Mennonites. The Mennonites. I don't know what they are either.
So, by the way, there is a movie poster for this movie with Les in a cornfield, which never happens.
What the fuck?
This is the only time we see cornfield is this scene, which rates. I don't know. It doesn't. I'm just saying. I'm gonna give this.
We haven't built it up at all.
Okay. Well, all right. All right. We'll do it.
Two beautiful young teens driving in a classic truck None of these F1, 2, 3 modern 50s where you can fit your whole family of 14 in the back and everything, and you got a fucking bed of a truck that's 3 feet. Just enough room to put your ice in for your beer and your gun. No, bullshit. No, this is a classic truck. 2 kids. Bruce Blingstream. Oh my
Bruce
God.
Springsteen.
Bruce Springsteen.
Springsteen.
Thank you. Playing on the radio. And you know what happens when Bruce hits your fucking groins?
Hits your loins.
You gotta fuck. And so what?
Especially teenagers, they love Bruce Springsteen.
They did it responsibly, though, Murray. They stopped. They said, that's a cornfield. We can fuck in that cornfield. And they got out.
They were both wearing flannel.
That's right. Well, that'll be good, too, because that ground, I've been in a cornfield. You don't want to be laying on that ground. You don't want to be grinding
you're
flesh.
fucking.
Yeah. Well, no, you.
What's worse, fucking in a cornfield or on the beach?
Oh no, it's got to be the beach because of the sand.
Yeah.
The sand
you
makes
get
that
sand
awful.
in your pussy.
You don't want to get sand in anything.
So, all right, keep
2
going.
kids, fucking. We got the passion. We got the rock and roll music rolling, rolling.
I thought you were the singing Bruce Springsteen. It's not Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, no,
Creedence.
the song clicked over to the CCR.
Oh god.
And yeah, you got these kids, you got this woman undressing, you got tits in here, you got the middle of a cornfield, you got passion, you're grabbing. She is literally grabbing for her life because this dick is so good.
Earth's
and it
shaking.
wasn't for you. You were not enjoying this. You were not feeling the thrill.
Let me explain myself. I have to give this scene an incomplete because I don't think it developed enough that I can even judge it on the
These are
Svedson
characters
scale.
we do not know.
It was so quick. Great tits on the girl.
Okay.
I'll give you that. But
Great
it
in
was
the Daisy Dukes, too.
Yeah, it went by so fast, I couldn't judge it. I'm going to give it an incomplete. I'm not even going to judge it.
Okay, so it's not a grade. It's just
It could have developed into something very hot.
Okay.
It could have got past 6, 7, but I don't know because it just didn't give me enough.
right. Perfect argument.
Okay.
I still put it on the Svedson scale. You're right. We need more of this.
Yes.
So I still give it a 5 because I felt the passion. I felt
There was
the
definitely
excitement.
passion there, but
And
I
it
just needed
reminds
more.
me of the times that you're trying to get busy.
He
and
probably blew his nut like already because he's a teenager. You know?
That's very possible.
Huh.
It
Which would
might.
go down on the Svedson scale. For
It
me.
reminds me of the times when you're trying to get busy and then something that you have to attend to, someone knocking at your door, anything like that, interrupts you. And that's the jolt I got.
And what was the interruption, Griff?
Well, the girl's digging into the ground because this dick is that good for her. That's why I thought it was like a good Svedson scene. She finds a hand, a severed hand.
Fakest looking hand I've ever seen.
Why is the hand even here?
You know what it was? It was It was like a rubber glove blown up. That's how fake it looked.
It was really bad.
And she freaks out as you would if you found a severed hand.
It's really cheesy, too, because we're used to the 80s sticking in random boobs for no reason. We're not used to the early 90s
Yeah, but
doing
this is an
that.
erotic thriller, technically. So they
So
had.
we want to slip
yeah.
more boobs in there.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to have some boobs. And so, all right, what's going on there? Nora is going over Tet's notes. This is where she finds Leslie's address. So the next night, she's like, Goldie, we have to go to this address. We need to do some Scooby-Doo sleuthing.
That's
So-
right.
So they're outside the gated community. Some like guy with like long hair and a bald spot,
Dude.
pops up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Hey, you want in there? I'm the gardener. I don't know who you are.
For
Go
fuck's
on
sakes,
in.
it could have been Dwayne without his hat on. That's how crazy this guy
Well,
was.
there's a lot of creepy people in Pennsylvania.
They did a good job there.
I
Joe
don't think we have
Biden.
any listeners in Pennsylvania, so fuck Pennsylvania. too.
Joe Biden's from Pennsylvania.
Scranton. Dunder Mifflin.
There's cocaine everywhere in this movie.
So, hey, don't bring up Hunter. Let's bring up his emails. So, yeah, the guy's like, you want in? Go on in. And they're like, oh, don't mind if we do, because nobody's in there. You want to go, Griffin? I didn't see nothing.
Hey, you give me a $2 or you give me a little flash of that leg there, I'll let you right in.
So they go to the house. Fucking being the realtor, Goldie is. She be like, wow, this is like great yard, like the square footage. I wonder if there's hardwood floors in here. She's
Are they original?
She's going over all of this shit.
New house, old wood.
Calculating how much it's worth in her head.
Right.
And she's like, there's got to be a lockbox here.
Right. No lockbox to speak of. So she can't just punch in a quick few numbers and get a key out. And so Nora, we got to get in there. I don't know how we do it. How do we do it? Oh, wait a minute. I got an idea. Pulls out the American Express.
And she looks at the camera. Don't leave home without it.
That's right. And so Goldie's like, oh, yes, of course. This always works. And is explaining it as she fiddles the card in there. This is how it works. Some of these old houses. And she's building it up for 45 whole seconds. And then you hear a click. She's like, bingo.
Need any help, ladies?
Pulls the door. It doesn't open. They're like, fuck this. And then, need any help.
Les pops up. Without his Ultimate Warrior makeup, though.
That's right. He's just wearing his, Rob Lowe outfit from Wayne's World. The Dockers.
It was business casual.
The fucking flowing members only jacket and the vibrant shirt.
Yeah, it's like a button-down shirt.
Vibrant button-down. Slick back hair.
And Goldie's like, oh, wow. Like, she likes the cut of his fucking dad jeans.
That's right. Mid-30s back in the early 90s. Whew, boy, no taste.
And she starts throwing out her realtor credentials. Because she's interested in, she's like, I could sell this house and get a nice percentage of this buy. So she's, trying to impress Les.
Of course she is.
She's like, do you have a realtor? Like, well, actually, I do. There's, I have someone selling my house.
And while
that's her cover because they don't. I mean, they're B&G in here.
Exactly, they're trying to go for a full B&G here. And while Goldie is going over a conversation, we get kind of like a doled out. Whoopsies. We get kind of just like the tone goes dull, and we just see Nora's eyes locking onto Les's face, and she's just like, something's
Remember,
up.
she saw that face before in her sex dream.
Yeah, and the fuck dream she had.
What did I give it? A 2, yeah.
You gave it a 2,
that
man.
2
Come
dream.
on. I don't know if they were boob double.
Wet dream? Sorry, dry dream. Was that
was a dry. Well,
she
Mario,
didn't
you don't
even
know.
get
You don't know a wet dream from a dry dream.
I know.
So.
I don't. I've never experienced that. Thank you for rubbing that in.
Yeah.
While you're rubbing one out.
I don't do an episode without rubbing one out.
Yeah, you got too much chi.
We got this great product called Peck Jelly. It's great for the wiener.
So it's like, I don't need you. I have somebody selling my house. So kindly remove your ass from my premises.
So the girls start to walk away when we see Leslie's eyes lock onto something on the ground. It's got to be that fucking credit card.
Right. He's like, I only use Discover card, so this isn't mine.
So then he catches back up with the girls who are going the wrong way to get to their car, by the way. They're going around to the back of the house when their car should have been, to their right instead of their left. And he's like, you know what? I was a little hard. I could use maybe all the help I could get here. So let's maybe go inside and talk about this a little longer. And that's when we just kind of fade away from this scene. And we fade back into Les waking up. And he's got a fucking half-naked Totec warrior offering him a knife in his room.
And then now we learn what happened to old flannel Julian Weeks. We flash back to the construction site. Julian's the last guy on the site.
Literally middle of the night, and he's still there like...
Lightning, thunder.
Fucking weaklings not working a 14-hour day.
He's got going to his Mazda Miata. Pulls out an envelope. It says Nora on it.
Yeah, he was getting mail or probably money, I guess.
Yeah, to show, look, I make money.
Yeah. Wow, did he go full Matthew there?
he looked like a fucking Matthew. I can't say the word. I'm gonna say
/
Matthew.
Townsend.
The hair, that fucking hair. And then we see our boy Les. Full out loincloth, Ultimate Warrior makeup, got the fringe on his fucking boots and on his fucking back and his biceps.
That's right.
Warrior. And he just attacks Julian, which is weird because Julian's bigger than him. So I think Julian thought he could take him.
Yeah.
But he's got the power of the toe tack.
That's right. So we get some tendons being slashed out.
Right.
We get a fucking
Julian
struggle.
climbs up this tower, and our boy, he's possessed by the toe tags. He's like a monkey climbing up shit.
Yeah, we see him just fucking ping ponging. He's a full on what do they call them? Parkourist. So he's got agility for weeks, not days, weeks.
And he kills our man Julian. Well, not my man. He
Finds
sucks.
the letter for Nora.
Covered in blood.
And so that's the point of this letter. He picked up her credit card, Nora Weeks. He sees this letter, Nora Weeks.
It's all falling into place.
That's all falling in. But next morning, Leslie's paying Nora a visit at her work. American Express, it's everywhere you want to be.
You left home without it.
But you don't leave home without it. And so she's cutting up chunks of meat.
This is where the fashion I hated.
Oh, I know. That baseball
Wearing
hat.
a fucking backward baseball hat. Just like
Abaddon
it. Yes. It's just levitating on her head.
Yup.
And then, I mean, she was wearing like an apron, I think. So you couldn't see really what she was dressed. But that hat, it enraged me.
Yeah.
And she's, like you said, she's just mincing meat. Just hack, hack, hack. And he's like, wow, you're a great butcher.
You really should be more careful about your things. And you're like, oh, that's creepy. And then we just cut to a random hallway.
Well, it's still in the restaurant. We're at
Okay.
the front desk.
It was so weird because you see like a staircase going up and everything.
Yeah,
It was on the
it's-
bottom floor of a building, apparently.
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
And this is where Mrs. Hardwick lives.
Yeah.
Even though in a little while we'll see that Miss Hardwick does not live in this building.
Well, no, yeah. Well, she tells us that.
Okay.
Because this is the only reason we have this scene. Because you're thinking, why do we need this scene? Because she arrives with some fresh roses from her garden that she just gives to Nora to class up her place.
Well, no, I thought she felt bad about Julian.
No, I thought this was just this was a normal thing. I mean, I don't know. I
thought it was
out.
about Julian.
Well, I'll take your word for it. But she's giving her roses. She's like, you don't have to. Because Nora offers to pay for them. That's why I thought she supplies the flowers for the restaurant. Because she's like, let me pay for these. And she's like, no. You do not pay. But how about this? Meet me up. Come pay me a visit.
Pay me a visit.
Little old lady. I'm lonely. Come see me.
We'll see later. She is a very lonely old lady.
So while that's going on, Nora looks down the papers on her desk, and she notices the headline, 2 more bodies found at a construction site.
And you think we're going to dive into that more? No, we're going to dive into the bottom of Goldie's dresser.
Right.
She's got the red onesie
She's
on.
in her boudoir, getting ready for a hot date with
Chance
Les.
boudoir?
Take a chance. She's taking a chance.
Take a chance.
Because it's apparently they live in the same apartment complex.
They do.
So Nora's there, and she's worried. She's talking about these construction sites. She's like, enough about that fucking your husband, all right? He's gone. I got a hot date with that Les guy. He's a catch. Rich. Tons of money and no wife.
Yeah, Nora's trying to be like, I don't know about this Les
It's like,
guy.
no shit, he's unwed. He fucking asked you on a date. He's not going to tell you, I'm married. By the way, I'm married, but would you like to go on a date?
Hey, neither of us have been married or try to have a.
But if I'm trying to fuck a chick while I'm married, I'm going to lie and say I'm not married, Griff.
That's true. You probably would do that.
Yes. But maybe he's such a baller. He's just yeah, I am married.
You want to be my side piece? I got money.
And Goldie would be into it.
Goldie would be into that.
So she's in her lingerie. And
asking if she
not
looks
enough curves
good.
for me. Attractive woman. I'm not dogging on her. We see her naked later. It was good. It was decent. But a little too skinny for me. Not enough curves. But she is getting ready.
Nora's going on about this whole Tattinger angle because remember, Tattinger just disappeared on her. And so she believes that Leslie might be involved in it.
Do you think Tattinger was in the cornfield? Was that his hand?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. I thought it was supposed to be Julian's hand, but it could be anybody's hand at this point.
Good.
I don't
It
fucking
could be
know.
Thing.
I don't fucking know. It could be Thing. Bring up a Netflix show. That's hot. That's popping.
Well, no, I'm bringing up the classic Addams Family.
Oh,
Not that
I'm
awful
sorry. Yeah, I
Wednesday
shouldn't
horseshit.
have known.
Only time Wednesdays matter is when our our episodes drop. That's the only time Wednesday matters.
Yeah. So Nora.
Another thing we did first, by the way. Fuck Netflix. Wednesday was our fucking thing.
Oh yeah, we brought Wednesday back.
Yeah,
100%.
Hump day. It's called Hump Day for a reason because you want to fuck after you listen to our episodes.
Our early episodes are full of fuckable episodes.
They were the most driest pussy episodes ever. We've just become super sexualized. I don't know what happened, but you guys love it because we got to jump in. I told you, Canada's on fire now because we talk about sex.
You know what sex is all about? Confidence. The best sex you can have comes with confidence. Be comfortable in yourself and be confident.
Speaking of confidence, knock knock. There's a knock at the door. It's Les. He's always on time. Goldie pointed out. So once again, how does she know that? Because isn't it their first date?
This is the second time they met. And they haven't even met because he's behind the door
Was he
still.
on time when he asked her for the date?
Now, I will tell you, you're mixing up this
Did
scene.
he call her to say, I will call you to ask you on a date at this time?
You're confusing this with the later scene, but still, I feel like Goldie somehow knows this as well. So I think you got the spirit of her down. And this movie is spiritual.
To show what a baller Les is, he's there to pick up Goldie. Nora answers the door because Goldie's still getting ready. She's still whoring herself up.
Oh, my God.
And he's just like, hey, how about we fuck right here while I'm waiting for Goldie? He's just hard coming on to Nora. And Nora's like, I'm a married woman. He's like, not from what I heard.
Yeah.
You're available.
Nora, by the way, is wearing her sweats, a baggy sweater. Awesome. She's got her hair just like a mess and everything. And he comes in and she's like, oh, I love a mess.
And then she's like rejecting him because she has this weird feeling about him. Goldie, something's about to happen. Goldie finally comes down.
Right. And so she comes in, swoops him up, and is like, please turn the lights off for me and lock the door. And they're gone. And of course, Les has to turn around and give her a little wink and a
nice rat finger flick. Now, if you listen to our first episode, you'll get that.
Was that first episode?
That was first episode.
I can't believe that.
It was.
I thought copping rockin' a field, whatever we called that bit.
Hair Metal Hate.
Hair Metal Hate.
That was the first episode.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, taking us way back 5 years.
Someday we're redoing our first episode.
I don't want to do that because I'm afraid we're just going to repeat the same jokes, and then it would just be awful.
I don't think we said any jokes, so I don't think we have to worry about that.
Okay. So, and this is another baller move. Rich guy, I'm going to see some shitty, cheap Chinese takeout. That's going to be our date. I'm not even taking you out. I don't respect you enough to be seen in public with your whore ass. Chinese takeout.
It doesn't work for a scene that happens later. I didn't get this. This is supposed to be, like you said, the moment where you go out. No. We don't want this wine menu. We want the wine menu. You know? The menu without prices on it. So this doesn't make sense. You're right.
Well, he knows that the path to a woman's heart goes through her stomach.
Right.
And what is woman like more than anything? Cheap Chinese takeout.
That's right. And Goldie the whole time.
He's classy because he only eats with chopsticks.
I like that. Goldie, good friend. Because all she's talking about is Ray Tattinger's going missing.
Yes, spilling the beans.
Right.
About Nora's private issues.
And then she starts going in about Julian and how when Julian disappeared, or when Julian went away, Nora would wear his flannel every night.
Right.
She's like, that girl was rubbing one out on his flannel every fucking night. It was disgusting. I had to listen to that.
He's, of course, recording all this, taking this in, because he needs to know what Nora does and does not know.
Right. And then Goldie goes on to complain about all this noodle and carbs will go straight to my hips. And he's like, that's not the only thing going straight to your hips tonight. Save room for dessert.
And then he points down to his crotch.
I'm going to fuck you tonight.
Sorry, guys. No Swedes and scale for this part. We cut back to the next morning, next week, next year. I don't know. Nora doing her own research. She has discovered, she sees this monogram, LCC, and she's like, Leslie Chase Condom? No.
Chrysler?
Caramel? Construction. Yes, because I guess she found Julian's pay stub or something where it said LCC.
Yes.
She puts it together, doing her own research.
So she's got this coming together, and then she finds another paper. 4 more bodies. 4 more? We're up to 6.
Yes. So the next day, next year, I think it's 2 weeks later. I think she even mentioned they've been dating for like 2 weeks now.
Jesus Christ, yeah. She's coming back from
She's like living at Les's mansion for the
Yeah.
past 2 weeks.
And she has been clearly fucked hard.
Right.
She's waking up the next morning. How did I get back home? That was fucking intense. Nora, where are you going so quickly? I need to ask you about something. Oh, yeah. They want to talk about Leslie, of course.
Right. It's like, what did you dig up on him? Because like I said, she's been living at Leslie's mansion for 2 weeks. She's in the fucking cock smog like a motherfucker. She's like, oh, I did find out. You remember that sexy scar he has on his neck?
The one flaw he has, but it's not so much a flaw as it is just fucking erotic.
Some fucking Indian gave it to him. He got in a fight with an Indian.
How crazy is
Isn't that hot?
The way he gets into my undies, it's like total cowboys and Indians.
So that's not much for Nora to go on. But she did pick up Indians. So she's like, I need to go to the local white woman that knows everything about Indian culture.
She's been writing for the local newspaper about the fucking killings.
Yes, and how they resemble the Totec.
Right.
And so, first of all, this woman is supposed to be Native American. White is fucking snow.
She did like a brown outline around her lips, which was awful.
That is awful. I don't like lip
I don't
liner.
know
that
what
was that was kind. I believe that was a '90s look, like really heavy lip liner.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
It doesn't match the lipstick.
Yeah, I've heard about this look. It looked terrible.
It looked terrible back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
And her name was Dykstra, because I remember Lenny Dykstra.
It was Dykstra.
So she is like, look, she's like, I need to know. My husband was one of this construction site, and she's like, well, you didn't hear from me, but I'm gonna tell you, total stranger, all this shit only the cops know that no one should know.
Dykstra totally annoyed to bail her out on this situation. No, she's doing an awful job here. Glasses falling at the tip of her nose. Fine. Here's this evidence.
All the victims' Achilles tendons were cut, and there was teeth marks on the femur. Human teeth marks.
Like an animal's? Human.
And then Nora just touches, like, rubs her chin. Cannibal?
Goes straight to our fucking local library, picks up a book, just so happens
Goes to the
find-
Totec section of our library, which we all have.
Of course. When you're in Pennsylvania, they only have books on the Totecs, you know.
It was the same and then the one library in Nowlands where Sensei Seagal went to find out about satanic cults.
Just down the street.
There was, and every library has that annoying, sassy goth girl. That's
Yes.
like, oh, Totecs, you've heard of them?
Yeah. And then you find out she's wearing the Totec Ankh, excuse me, however it's pronounced.
It's called the Tonk.
She's
Totec
got the
Ankh.
fucking Totec face tattooed on her arm.
Right.
She's into that. She's into Totec
very
play.
appropriating, I thought.
Yeah, she likes her tendons to be like ruptured while she's fucking. That's her thing.
She's like nice Apache tattoo. Totec.
Toe tell it to the Totec.
So, okay, so now she's doing her research. She's seeing that. As she's doing her research, we see Leslie putting on his foot. I want to point out, we never see Leslie applying the makeup. Is there a magical thing where it just appears when he becomes Totec? When the Totec takes over?
We see that, like, he wakes up in a hunger, like a vampire, and he's like, oh, shit. And then he sees the Totec warrior at his bedside. So is it like he wakes up and walks towards and he walks through that Totec warrior? And
because here's a question, because this is a Jekyll and Hyde situation. The Totec takes over.
Yes.
Does he remember any of it?
Yes, he does. He clearly does.
But he's an observer inside his head.
Yeah, he's a passenger in this situation.
So yes, he is prepping for some more Totecology.
And we see him even drink a little. He's got like a handmade motor and pestle where you just see him sipping a cup of blood.
So she's like, oh my God, this is worse than I thought. So she runs downstairs to Goldie's apartment, and she's like,
you can't see him anymore, girl. You got to at least take 2 weeks off in order for us to figure out more about this guy. Because I think he might be a Totec cannibal warrior.
And she just happens to be getting ready for another date with Les. It's their second date, fifth date, 12th date. I don't know.
Girl, I know you said some words, but do you see what I got over here? Russian sable. 1 of 1 100 in the world. Gave it to me.
And then this is why women can never be friends, because Nora has to be like, well, he really wants me. And she's just like, what? What are you talking about?
What is this bullshit, Nora?
He's trying to get to me through you.
What the
I'm
fuck?
obviously too hot for him, so he thought he'd start with you and then move in. And of course, Goldie's offended by this.
Right. And this is where we get that classic scene that you were explaining. Classic scene. Where he's outside the door listening,
Right.
and Nora, because she's getting fed up. She's like, you're my best friend. You can't talk this away to me. This guy actually wants to fuck me. He doesn't want to fuck you. He wants to fuck
And then Nora's
me.
like, toe tacks, tendons, the construction site that he runs. That's where my husband was at, and he disappeared. Sacred ground.
Nora, he's never late. Why is he late? And it just so happens, as we said, Leslie's waiting outside, and he hears
He's got
this-
the glass up to the
Yeah,
door.
of course he does. He hears the lull in the conversation, and so that's when he decides, I'm not going to hear any more good
Before
news.
he knocks, Goldie's like, he has everything. He's rich. Why would he need to kill? Which, of course, we know because we've done 20 movies on it. The deadliest game is man. So
Yeah.
rich people want to hunt people.
Rich people will hunt because they can get away with anything.
Dog will hunt. Rich people will hunt.
That's right.
So that's when he knock knock. It's like 8:03, which is fucking. He's always there at 8 sharp.
That's right.
So she's like, "Look, fuck off, Nora." She's offended, and she should be.
Look, Nora, I'm on the wrong side of 30. I'm 31. There's no chance
I hit
for
the
me.
wall.
I hit the wall. I'm a realtor. I got
I'm
6 figures
crumbling.
coming in. What am I supposed to do? No guy's gonna want to fuck. My puss could be dry tonight. I don't know. I gotta take this.
I think he really likes me. So we're gonna go to a cocktail party.
Yeah, this is on the other side of the door. Les is telling her, I got a cocktail party to take you to.
I want
And-
to put my cock in your tail.
And Nora's that was not Nora. That was Goldie's line. Well, let's hold the cocktail and put your cock in my tail.
So this is where things get interesting in this movie, Griff. This is Sweden scene number 3. This is what you want out of a sex scene in a movie, Griff.
Full picture, Murray. Where are we?
We're at Les's place.
Okay. What room are we in?
I don't know because there's a table, a big table. Are we in the
We're
dining
in
room?
the kitchen.
Okay.
Murray, you got all the knives and the whisks on the fucking wall.
So many whisks.
I don't know
How does
why.
a man need that many whisks?
He had a 12-inch whisk, an 8-inch
Oh,
whisk.
he had a 12-inch whisk already. All right. And he was beating something with it. So he's just fucking. We're mid fuck. We didn't even no fucking build up. He's fucking her right there.
Yes, we got her ass on counter with whisks behind her. They're making out. He's taking her dress off. Sable gone. Candles up. We got the fucking music going. You probably didn't notice music again.
It was okay.
It was okay.
So, but then he does the move. Guys, you gotta do this move. Flips her over, bends her over a table, starts fucking her doggy, grabs the hair, yanks her head back. Some good shit, Griff.
This is what we've never seen in any of these movies that want to do a sex scene. They always just do it simple, missionary, in
Right.
bed. When I saw this scene, I was like, first of all, there's a third Svedson in this movie? And
Right.
I
think that broke a record.
Yeah. I did not tell you about the third Svedson just for podcast sake. And the fact that they do a front side and then he flips over and then he grabs her by the hair and we see, guys, I know consensual sex is all the rage these days. This is consensual as fuck.
Speaking of wasps, the band Wasp, they're fucking like a beast right here. And he's biting her. He's going to town on her. There's some aggressive, raw fucking going on.
And we
here.
slowly go up from his bites.
Abra, I want to know what your number is for this. 1 out of 10.
Oh my God. Audience, I want to know your number on this too.
My number Great scene. I'm gonna give it an 8 though. I can't give it.
You don't have to say though. We've been handing out 3s and 5s. 8 is amazing,
Yeah,
Murray.
8 is enough.
8
That's
is,
the thing.
8 is great. What do you need?
I didn't like the music.
Okay.
But it wasn't. It was standard fuck scene music. I think I needed more. I needed something more because this is some animalistic primal fucking going on, and it was very like smooth jazz.
More
You need
bongos,
something.
more. You know what? It would have been more tribal because he's the spirit of a native person at this point.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that would have been. I put it at an 8 too because again, we don't see these kind of fuckable moves ever. We don't see the bending over. You don't see the hair pulling, and you know what? That's good fucking right there.
But I want to bring up another sex scene I saw recently. I brought up the Gary Daniels Rage. I also watched a movie called Rage starring Richard Norton.
Oh.
Who's the bad guy from Gymkata, if you don't remember him. Fuck scene in this movie, too. Sexual movements, sexual choreography was amazing. What killed it, the woman was fully clothed. She was like wearing like a slip. Richard Norton, totally naked.
Oh, jeez.
Her sex movements were great, but you couldn't see anything. So,
Yeah.
But you can see everything in this scene we're talking about.
So as we're leaving this scene, we're like, oh
Doesn't
my
he even
God.
like suck on her nipples and shit like
There's
that? Like
nipple sucking. There's nipple licking. There's like you get a lot in this scene. That's why I was like,
I would like to
shit.
hear what like was she just like do what you want or did they like okay is it
Were
okay
these
if I
bo-
suck your nipples?
Were these body doubles too?
I don't think so because they're such nobodies as actors. I don't think they would. Bother.
It's very interesting to think about.
Yeah.
Now, thanks to our Brian De Palma month, apparently, is
Yeah.
what that ended up being. So we leave it with those bites and everything, and then we crawl up to Goldie's face, and she's biting her lip, and then she howls out, and it's like, is that agony or ecstasy?
Well, we don't know because we don't even know what happens. Few
days later.
Few days later, Nora's still studying the toe tag. She calls Goldie up,
Her employer.
and she's like, "Have you seen her?" She's like, "No, we haven't seen her for days. This is the usual Goldie thing."
But what about Goldie's house? Did she?
And she's like, "No, we didn't even sell the house. That like, somebody else sold the house."
Yeah, no, that's a house been sold for a while now. So Nora's freaking out.
So they don't even really know about the house. They don't know any connection with Goldie
Yeah.
to this house.
So Nora freaks out, heads straight over to Leslie's place, does a B&G, just breaks the front door.
Well,
and,
he apparently leaves everything open. You know?
Well, she broke into it.
Technically, it's vacated, right? Because this house was sold.
Could be.
So yeah, she breaks in. Apparently, she brought her Discover card or whatever, you know, and that worked.
Runs straight to the freezer or the kitchen. Yeah. She must have smelled that fog in there and was like, something happened in here.
Well, did she suspect he's a cannibal at this time?
Yes.
Okay, because she's drawn to the freezer
because she's been reading the toe tag books,
where you would keep your victim because you want to keep it fresh.
Right.
She found one man can't eat a one woman in whole in one sitting.
That's a lot of meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even with skinny ass Goldie.
Even she's got no ass on her, but doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he set it up. Leslie set it up so she would be like key to the lock to the freezer in the kitchen. What the fuck? You know, right. He laid it out for her. So she's freaking out. She
opens
up the freezer, and there's nothing. And she's like, what the fuck? And then she notices like a little lever on the ground or something. And she pulls it up, and it's just full of blood.
Yeah, I was thinking that'd be a great place to keep one of our acid pits. Like in a freezer, nobody was suspecting.
I thought it was going to be an acid pit.
Because sometimes we don't have time to get rid of the bodies we put in the acid pit. So in a freezer, it'd be perfect. You could chill the body. Do it at your leisure. I could just throw a leg in there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to get it all at once.
That's right.
So
you want to. It's like fire. You know, you want to enjoy the fire. You want to watch the limbs burn up.
So there's a bloody pit of horror in front of Nora.
So she takes that information straight to Lieutenant Floodbow.
And she's like, I got all the evidence. It's obviously Leslie. And then, oh, really?
Ma'am, please shut your fucking mouth. Leslie's in the house.
Yeah, he's in the room. She didn't notice him. He's just chilling in his fucking dockers.
Leslie's got this ability. There's a scene later where he's behind a door and they don't notice him when they open the. It's fucking.
Nora, obviously, like, you killed my friend. You did this. He's like, He looks over at Flatpole, rolls his eyes.
Women. I fucked this broad for a whole 8 months, and she thinks we're married
And
now.
now I'm fucking her friend. You know how it goes. Did you notice he's literally inches away from Flatpole's face? Like he's like
Yes.
all in his face.
Yes. Robert Patrick, this is why I think this is a good movie to watch. Robert Patrick fucking kills it here.
And she's just like, I want proof that Goldie's alive. He's like, well, she's in Hawaii right now taking scuba lessons.
Listen, babe,
she's taking surfing lessons from a guy named Bodie. I think he's already pretty hot.
Yeah. I'm about to head over there right now. I just had to wrap up some things with my house. The cops are going to look after it before it's sold because some people have been breaking and griffing into it.
So she just runs out in a huff. Like you said, Les explains the situation. I've been boning this broad, and she loves my dick.
Fladbo, of course, is like, yeah, I fucking get it. I know these bitches. I got 4 bitches right now.
They're like literally like nose to nose speaking to each other.
Elbows just going up. They're fucking
And it's
flapping
like I got
wings.
tired of this pussy, so I moved on to her best friend. You know how it is. Like, well, do I ever?
And then we cut over to Nora returning home in just like a fucking frantic spree. She goes straight to her phone where she's got a message from Goldie. Hey, girl, I'm here in Hawaii. I don't know if this is a vacation or life. Are we staying here? I don't know. I am so sorry I left without saying anything, but oh my God, this is the real thing. His dick is amazing.
Beep. Second message. Hey, it's Les. Did you get that message from Goldie? Yeah, everything goes up, plans out. Nothing suspicious.
Nothing suspicious. Let's go ahead and meet tomorrow at the wildlife sanctuary.
Yeah,
and
I got
just
something I need to go over with you.
Cut to the sanctuary. Les immediately chimes in. Yeah, I donated a lot of money. I'm a pretty big deal. There's plaques everywhere with my name on it. No big deal. No big deal. This was the best. We shit on Nora's outfits. This is the best Nora outfit. Just the black jeans, high-waisted, but it wasn't the potato sack
That's all you
effect.
could get. That's all that was available back then.
Yeah, and they look great on her because it didn't have that potato sack effect.
Is that it? You
Then
don't
she had
the roll?
like a normal shirt and a normal like overcoat or something. It was great. It was a good
He's
outfit.
in his uniform, Dockers, members only jacket.
Of course, slick back hair, Ray-Bans.
And he's like, look, I'm going to level with you. Yeah, there's some, I've been killing people, but let me explain. And he goes over the whole toe tech, even though she's red, she's done her. He's like, I've done my research, first of all.
I did my own research.
And he explains about the last gas.
How vaccines don't work. Oh, shit. I might have to cut that.
And he's like, I became that which I sought to destroy. And he's like, I'm living hell. I don't want to kill these people. I'm taking over. I have to watch innocent people die. And Nora's just taking it all in. And she's
Right.
like, well, I want to know, is Goldie safe? He's like, look, if you just forget any of this shit happened, I'll let Goldie go. I don't want any trouble. All right? I'm just as much a victim as you are.
Yeah, the spirit is in me. I can't do anything about it. And so at this point, Julian has or Leslie has his back to Nora. Julian? Yeah. He's been dead for a while now. Leslie has his back to Nora, and Nora pulls a gun, and she's demanding the truth about Julian and Ray Tettinger. And so he sees she has the gun. He steps right into it. Go ahead, Nora. Shoot me. What are you going to do? You know what happens if you shoot me? Our spirits are bonded. You heard me.
I didn't read it like that. I read it as like he wants her to kill. He's not
told her.
taunting her. He's like he wants her to kill. He's like, please.
No,
like,
that's exactly it.
I'm tormented by this. Like, end my suffering.
No, it was 100% that.
But know this. If I die, my last gas is going to come into you. And you're going to be cursed by this. So she can't do it. Because he's like, kill me. He grabs her hand with a gun and puts it to his throat.
Well,
It's
she
like,
drops the gun. And he picks it up, and you're thinking, oh, he's going to turn on her because she knows the truth. He puts the gun to his throat, grabs her hand, and puts it back on the gun and says, go ahead. Do it. Put me on my misery. Because as soon as it's off my shoulders, it's on your shoulders.
And this is the way to even goad her more into killing him. He's like, I did kill Julian, and I made it as painful as possible.
So
But she still can't do it. So what does she do? Remember, she's like, I got to get away. I'll go to Mrs. Hardwick's place. She
Old
invited
Lady
me
Hardwick.
over.
That's right.
So they're at the old lady Hardwick, and she's telling her the situation about Julian.
It's suddenly incredibly cold in the world, so she's in 3 sweaters, shivering in front of a fire, and Miss Hardwick's like,
That's what was missing from the hot scene.
Fireplace.
No, there was no fireplace.
It's just candles.
Yeah.
Just candles.
Yeah.
It should have been a fireplace. You're right. John DeHart knows. Yeah. And so Miss Hardwick, I don't know. I felt kind of a les vibe coming off
I did
Hardwick
too.
here. And we'll get there.
Yeah.
And so she's like, oh, do you want another brandy, my girl? That hot man is gone from your life. It's been 16 years since Mr. Hardwick passed. My bed has been empty.
Did you notice she also had a flannel shirt tied around her waist?
I did notice
Because she
that.
knew that's like Nora's kink.
You didn't notice any pants on her skirt, nothing, no nightgown, none of that. Just a flannel covering her.
Let me get you another hot toddy. So she goes back to the kitchen.
Nora's kind of dozing off on the couch, just listening in on all these old stories about how she hummed, crack-a-doodle on.
She gave
on the
a hummer
guy's
to Harry S. Truman,
That's
all
right.
this shit. And then it stops. And she's like, I wanted to hear more about Harry S. Truman. Was he circumcised? And then she goes in there, and we see Miss Hardwick laid out on the sink, throat mangled. Mangled. He gnawed her throat, right? Because it wasn't cut. It was like mangled.
Yeah, it was mangled. It was so weird. And just the fact that she was laid on the sink, nothing's knocked over. It's so weird. It's such a weird
So the
scene.
police show up. They're going over everything. They don't believe a word Nora's saying. 'Cause she's like, Les did it.
Yeah, Les did it. He came in through the back door. He killed her, put her on the sink, drained out all of her blood in 4 minutes. Because the cop's going, the timeline is she died at 4:05. You called us at 4:10.
We arrived at 4:12.
You're saying her blood drained in 8. No.
Well, no, her body was gone. That was the thing.
Oh, yeah, then her body was gone.
Yeah, so they're like, where is the body? And apparently only the cops are the people that know what the timeline into this movie is, because we're still confused.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's like, okay, you're telling me there's a victim and there's a crime, there's no victim.
Right.
What are we supposed to do with this
Right.
shit?
So the cops are just like, look, we're going to investigate it. We'll take you back home. We'll have no guards look after you. Fuck off. Bye-bye.
Back at Nora's, the door, the main door of the apartment, it's all been
Yeah.
scratched up.
There's
Someone's
like a
obviously
common
broken
hallway,
in.
so it's the main door is fucked up.
And it's been all fucked up, so she's like, that's got to be Les. I'm not going in there.
So she goes back to Les's place, and she phones up her place.
I thought she went to like a
I thought she
payphone.
did too.
She didn't go to a payphone?
No, she did not.
Okay. But she calls her place. Chase, I know you're there. And lo and behold, he is there. He's in his loincloth. He's got the fucking makeup on.
That's all right.
Did you notice? We didn't point out. Peck jelly to the gills.
No, we did not point that out
He's
yet.
always moist.
Oh, wait. When he is full tribal, he is moist.
She's like, Chase, all right, you win. Just get the fuck out of my apartment. I won't say anything. So now she's hiding at Leslie's place because she's trying to draw him back to his place.
We see she's got a revolver, and we start to hear a ruckus near the front door. So she's like, okay, I got to go investigate. She gets antsy.
Right.
She's got a perfectly good hiding spot, but she gets antsy because she doesn't know any better. And she goes up to the front door. There's like the mid door there.
the foyer.
The foyer. And so she opens it because she sees.
And she just unloads on this body all her bullets into this. It's Mrs. Hardwick. Somehow he strung her up.
Yep.
And he's hiding behind the body.
Yep.
And he like leaps at her and starts chasing her.
Up the staircase.
Cuts one of her tendons.
Cuts a tendon. She managed to continue upstairs while he's like howling about cutting a tendon. She gets up into the attic. He chases her up in there. So you got like now she's trapped in the
she's
attic.
like hiding, and he's like lurking around looking for her.
He comes.
He like falls through the floor.
I didn't even think he got up. I thought she bonked him on the head.
He fell through because like, which I don't know why, because it was a finished attic.
Yeah, it was.
Because there was like they even pointed out because there's the excess hatch,
Panels.
And then there's another one that he falls through.
There's two access panels here.
And so he's hanging from the panel, and he dropped his knife, so she grabs it and stabs him in the hand.
Yeah.
Which there's no way the scrawny broad's going to be able to, because his hand is pinned. He can't even move his hand.
Adrenaline, man.
And then she runs back down, trying to get the fuck out of there.
She leaps down the other access, runs away. He pulls off, shows off the wound.
Yeah, he pulls and then we get like nice fake like rubber hand again, and it's like because the hand's like split down the middle.
Yeah,
and he's like looking at it, and he bandages it up.
She gets down to the bottom of the staircase.
This was dumb. She tourniquets her. Like the tendon got cut, and artery didn't get cut.
Yeah,
so it's not going to be that. So, but she she gets her belt off because, of course, obviously she needs access because there's no way all the cinching she could ever get the belt because. Foreshadowing, the belt's going to come into play later. So she ties her leg off to tourniquet it.
It's so hard to do this. We're so excited to get to this part. So the fight, he comes down the stairs. The fight continues outside. It's raining. It's storming.
She falls like every horror movie. She's stumbling, but this makes sense because she's had a fucking torn Achilles tendon.
Yeah,
and so he starts biting into her tendon.
Yeah, just like we saw with the toe tack. With the first fight with Leslie, they see blood and they get obsessed. So he's going, he's going for the ankle. He's like, I have no other vision than to eat from your live blood.
This was awful because she takes her belt off her leg, wraps it around. He's like, ooh, kinky. Wraps it around his neck. This would have got a 10 on the Sweden scale if they
I bet it
completion would. Because she just starts mildly straining like. The only way I can rationalize is that he's somehow taking control and he's allowing himself to be killed because there's no way he couldn't just throw her off.
Yeah, he went full carrot.
Or him and the Totec spirit are into autoerotic asphyxiation.
Exactly, David Carradine.
So he's just like, oh, well, he comes, and then he goes, freedom.
Yeah, his nut. He nutted.
Yeah, that's what I say when I come. I go, freedom.
Yeah, freedom.
And then... remember, he gives his last gasp.
Mm-hmm. Cut to sometime later.
Yeah, weeks, months, years, I don't know.
Goldie's back from Hawaii.
Right. Wearing her Russian sable.
That's right.
And
they're hanging out in Nora's
They're getting ready
place.
to go to the club, because they're both single women. She's finally gotten over Julian.
Exactly. She's got her flannel.
Because remember, she never cleaned those flannels because she didn't want to lose the smell.
Yeah.
So Goldie's just, being her trifling ass. She's just like, oh my God, there's another tabloids are calling again, wanting your story. Nora's in there putting her makeup on. And then she's like, girl.
She's going through her apology. Because Nora tried to tell her.
Right. She's like, I can't believe I was in the cock smog.
Yeah. Love may be blind, but lust is blind and deaf. And really dumb. Murray, you've been trying to tell us.
Yeah.
You get in that cock smog.
Right. It's potent.
Or the fog.
It blinds you. Yeah, pussy fog, same thing. Pussy fog's the most dangerous shit.
We can relate to that the most because we're into the fog.
Yes.
So
yeah, and it's ruined many a man's life. But it can ruin a woman's life as well, the cock smog.
That's right.
I don't know about we gotta get a lesbian on here so we can ask about the pussy fog, how it affects them. It might be different.
Hey, I know a few. Well, I got pinned down by lesbians this afternoon. They made me drink something called pickle juice.
But it wasn't real pickle juice?
It was some kind of pickle beer. It was awful. I got to tell you.
I really owe you my life, Nora. And then we cut to the looking in the mirror. Ultimate Warrior. She's like, what a rush. Got the Ultimate Warrior makeup on. She has gotten the last gasp.
That's right.
There you have it, people.
I think this is a fun movie.
Well, I mean, if you want to try it out, it's on Tubi for free. If
you're
living in America, I don't know how it works with the rest of the other countries.
I think you definitely.
I know our horny Canadians are just can't wait to jerk off to this, but
I know 3 fucking speeds and moves.
Scenes.
Yeah,
they kind of. You know what? I'm gonna take it back because they built
it. It wasn't not AEW booking. They went from kind of sensual to a little more, and then
it was. The first one was for the women, that sensual thing.
Yeah.
Second one was this hard primal fucking in a field.
It
guy
was
shit.
teen fucking.
Guy shit, and then there was a combination with the last one.
Right. You got
So I take it all back. This guy, whoever did this, is a genius.
Robert Patrick was on his knees praising that woman in that first scene with the whisks that we talked about.
Yeah.
So it had it all. Like, I gotta say, this is a fucking cool movie. It's 90 minutes.
I feel bad for they're not going to hear this, but I feel bad for someone who's not going to listen to this episode because you're like, I've never heard of Last Gasp. Fuck that.
This is what this fucking podcast is for. These movies should be on your radar when you have a rainy afternoon like we're having right now.
It can't be all Seagal movies, people. Come on.
I hate that. Everybody's, we just watch the Seagal movie. No. A lot of great actors have weird B movies, and we need to watch those because we see them hone their craft. We see the fucking Robert Zadar. Well, he just was sea level even. I just watched Robert.
Well, he's
Zadar.
a great actor to us.
Billy Dragos, and you got all those sweet B level dudes that we need to be giving more attention to. But Murray, I don't know if there's a B level dude in this next movie we're doing. We're gonna have 2 more weeks. We're at the halfway point.
Yeah,
we're officially at the halfway point, and we're concluding with the movie that Griff's mom told him you can never rent this again. So just to give you a teaser there. But next week we're doing a movie. We're jumping forward. We're doing a modern movie.
For all you people who say we're just stuck in the past and we need to give new movies a chance, well, we're going to do that.
Yeah, you're going to see us put our craft to the modern scale. We're doing a modern movie. We're doing a hero we've done recently.
Some people consider the greatest action movie of the past 20 years, of the millennium.
God damn it. I've seen this.
I've never seen any of these.
I don't think you're right. And you're about to hear, this will be a fucking 80-minute movie because we will not give a shit about it because it's full of shit. Guys, we're doing John Wick 1. We're not starting on 2 or 3.
Do I need to break out the Sweden scale for this?
No. Okay. Keanu is sexless.
Yes, he is asexual. He is, as Aubrey called him, dyke-ish, I think she called him. Like his dyke energy.
That was right. Yeah. And the other part about it,
androgynous dyke, I think.
No, I'll save all my hate for next week.
Okay.
I'm agitated about what I remember about this movie, and I think it's a fine action movie, but I think it's an obnoxious action movie.
Right.
So,
I'm intrigued. I haven't seen it.
Until next week, everybody, enjoy your nice 2-hour episode of fucking Last Gasp, and I'll be listening.